press 1 to mute or unmute yourself. 2 to lock or unlock the conference. 3 to record the conference. 4 for sounds. Increase.
Okay, g'day everybody, welcome to the Forbidden History Chronicles. You're here with NinjaCat 111 and Dezert-Owl from the Forbidden History series and Forbidden History live YouTube channels. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to both. I'm just looking, sorry, I'm multitasking. Thank you, Lynn, for the sound check and welcome. I don't know where everybody else is. I hope they show up soon. But g'day to everybody that's going to be listening, and any new listeners. We're going to be doing a few different things. We're going to get into some of the alphabet, and Desert's going to do some reading from mental block, from the Dictionary of Scriptures and Myths, and yeah, we're just gonna go with the flow as usual on this program. I'll just read the introduction. Sorry, I'm just sifting through papers. Okay. This is written by Desert, The Signs of the Times. In essence, Desert discusses the history of the world and how the unseen hand has been running it from the very beginning of time, who they are and how they have founded all of the first great civilizations that are found all around the world, about who the giants really were, and the ancient Aryan caste and slave systems, the priesthoods, the anti-gravity V-manners, the Earth-based misnomered UFOs, which are man-made, the control of all forms of communications, commerce, religion, mass media, pseudo-politics, etc., It is the grand deception that is used to control all of mankind, and all instituted through the three main religions of the world in particular, used as their grand cover. Their cybercode has been revealed to him because he has become adept within the study of the ancient alphabets, communications, symbolism, religion, custom, law, cosmology and mythology, not to mention the fallacy of today's political science and pseudoscience in particular. Desert can also define the true nature of their warfare, their shell game of bringing one civilization up for their temporary use and then taking it down for the next 500-year generational cycle, as symbolized by the classical phoenix. Desert discusses the ultimate in mind control and ancient art, and the financial control, the secret societies and their blood occult rituals, and how they wage all wars throughout all time through the nations that they have created, which are all imaginations, plantations, and mere corporations. They have taken blood oaths to surrender their self-will and mind to their blind goddess, who has demanded our blood from the very beginning of time. They communicate to their minions through the movies, TV, and print media, while he can see, read, and interpret most all of it. It says that they are using us for our ingenuity, for our collective constructive labour, for experimentation, and in the end, they intend to kill us all. They have given us full notice of what they are doing and what they fully intend to do, while all of the general population, the sheeple, they merely go there to be entertained. The New World Order is the Old World Order from the beginning of time. There is a major cosmic natural disaster that is about to happen on Earth, and they know it, but they are cleverly leaving us in the dark. Hence the reason that they have built hundreds of underground bases all around the world, while they are leaving all of the people to remain unprepared, uninformed, and above ground, so that when it comes, the mere 5% who will survive above ground will die from the weaknesses and disease that has been generated from all of the poisons that they have been feeding us, from the chemtrails to fluoride in the water to tainted vaccines to fake food, etc., etc. They have enslaved us all by the clever means of deception, because we, most all, are their cattle, chattel, property, and because they merely wanted to harness our labour, what they always needed, which is what backs most of the world's currency through the birth certificate, but they are all through with us now. It is written in stone, as it can be seen written in the Georgia Guidestones. To know the truth is to be empowered and to be prepared. We may not be able to stop what has been done and what is about to happen, but the innocent and decent people on planet Earth deserve to know. And that was written by Dezert-Owl, who, coincidentally, is with us now. G'day, Desert. How's it going?
Yes, it is a coincidence, because it's related. That's why. Hi. That everybody uses the thing backwards. They say, oh, it's just a coincidence. Well, actually, yes, I think it was a coincidence because it's related. You see, they got us thinking backwards on what is coincidental. It means it's related, right?
Thank you.
See,
thank you.
So when something is related, you could see it, and then somebody says, well, that's just a coincidence. Well, that's what it means. It's related.
Wow.
Yeah. When they're trying to imply, well, it's not related, but wait a minute. Maybe it is related, and so
maybe
we have to look at it both ways.
Yes, it boggles the mind, does it?
Right. So did we fix the world? Are we done? Can I go now?
Yep.
No? All right.
All done.
Nice program.
All good.
Okay,
No
we're
worries.
all doing time, and
Yeah.
I got things on the mind. Okay, what? No?
Loved it. Was fantastic. Yep. Amazing program.
Right. Yeah. I see we're just down to a tall bud now, right? A tall bud is a 32 ounce.
Oh, Desert.
We're gonna have to, get some announcements. Don't you have the ability to let people know in advance what your program that when you're going to be on the there's an announcement thing? Don't you have one of those?
There's the premiere thing. I haven't figured that out yet. It shouldn't be too hard.
Well, Kelly will help you, okay? Because she does it, and obviously it does help, okay? So it's got a timer, and people can set it up, and so they're there. That way, I couldn't get onto the program, for about a minute, trying to, okay?
Yeah.
So we've got to, so everything, as best as possible to give people notice in advance so they can plan their day. That is going to be an advantage. So but we're doing all right.
We're doing it.
Making lemonade out of lemons, and we're all doing time. And the clock is ticking. It looks like it's almost on the midnight hour there, and it's very appropriate.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so you compelled me to want to start on the letter A today. So we'll talk about the letter A. We're going to go through the alphabet. We'll be doing it perhaps on each program, so it'll be back and forth. And you have to follow us on both NinjaCat 111 and Forbidden History Live. And then all of these will be clipped and put on the Cosmic Essence channel. So we're just ramping up, ladies and gentlemen, trying to do important work. And most people, in the world are too busy being entertained in order to get down to the brass tacks of what life is really all about. And I have a quote here, then I have a few words I'll go through, and then I got the thing on Medusa out of Smith's dictionary, classical dictionary from the 1800s, and I'll read that as symbolism for today. Excuse me, and then we'll do all scriptures and myths. I think I want to do scriptures and myths first because I always like to do the deep esoteric stuff before I get into the symbols. So I'm trying to excuse me. I'm been what I want to say a little bit of a discomfort. I've had a hip injury that I acquired with no remedy for it. Trying to put things on it, but it's been chronic for about half a year or a better part of a year, and slightly getting better. But now with the work, I've aggravated it yesterday working out. So
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, but I'm doing all right.
You're feeling a bit better at
light creation for direct healing,
yeah.
And that it's quantum physics, and that it certainly does help.
Yeah. So, creating light for your hip always, does it?
Yeah. I just finished reviewing the program, the last of the 5-part series on Adam, and I'm just very touched by the wonderful quality of people that come in and participate in the program. As you know, we've had people that are undesirable come in, and we couldn't even block them at one point. So clearly, they were military trolls, or
they just kept coming back so quickly. Yeah.
Perhaps working for the, who.
Yeah.
And so, because the Zionism is dominating the world, and it's just a puppy state. It's not a real. They're not the real. In other words, remember on the back of the dollar bill, there's 2 pyramids, and there's a lower pyramid. Then up above it, there's the higher pyramid, and while we're talking, we should take that off until we get to the alphabet, because that's a distraction. Let's put something nice to look at, okay? Because people can't listen and read at the same time, and I want everybody to be able to follow here.
Okay.
So just something nice, and that's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Where was I going? I forgot.
We were talking about undesirables showing up in the chat.
So we don't need to give that any more of our energy.
Yeah.
All right, we don't need to do that. It's the Zionism. The 2 pyramids. Okay, the pyramid above the lower pyramid is the real pyramid. There's 2 pyramids in the picture. So there's what it means. Then there is only one pyramid, and the pyramid is at the top. And so the ones in the lower, all the bricks in that lower pyramid are all the Masons and all the secret society members and all the dupes and poops and stoops that played the game, but in the end they didn't get into the upper pyramid, nor did they transcend, into that light that where the all-seeing eye we see there, because they're creating the illusion of the eye being the sun, but yet they're not in the light, so they're not in that upper pyramid. Actually, in reality, they're in the lower pyramid. They're on the other side of the dollar bill, on the $1 bill, on the right, on the back, where we see the phoenix and the eagle, and above it is the moon, because they're in the darkness. They're in the moon. That's it. And then you'll see the Star of David there in the portrayal of 13 stars that come together, creating a 6-pointed the aura of the moon. So that's how we read the symbols and realize that symbols rule, as Confucius said. Signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor law. So it's not what they're telling you. It's what you have to be able to see and read for yourself and interpret in the form of symbols. Okay, and so that's why we talk about symbols here virtually every day and read the definitions, because we have to get people to see. We have to get people to read nature and to read the nature of the occult, because they use nature to their advantage to communicate. So everything is relevant. Everything has bearing. Not that everything we see is immediately speaking to us, because it just depends upon where you are. If you're in a building, or if you're in a courthouse, right, or if you're, in an event that is going on, then things could have bearing. It could be telling you something, and like saying, I don't like all these signs around here. What's going on, and then to leave, because we are visionaries and can see and read things for ourselves. Hey, that way, good to have you. And I wanted, since you're here, I did a review of the last program on Forbidden History Live, and I noticed at the end there you had a little blurb, and it was a good one, and it's one, of course, that I saw decades ago, and it's one of those things that got me going on the trail of realizing how they confused the English diction, and therefore, so it was an important noteworthy discovery and consideration in order to have everything else open up, because it shows how they play their tricks, you see. And so let me put an illustration in the chat, Ninja, and I'll put the word Constitution. Okay, Constitution, but something's wrong with that word, Ninja. Can you tell me what on the surface is wrong with the word?
For starters, it's got con at the start of it.
Okay, that's one, but that's correct, but that's not the one I'm looking for. There's another one. So what's the second one?
It makes me think of institution.
Well, think of the sound. You're reading it. Remember that letters are supposed to have one sound, and they're supposed to sound as they appear. So is there something wrong with the sound at the end of the word?
Yes.
What's the problem?
The T-I-O-N has got the wrong sound.
How should it spell? How should it be spelled?
It should have a S-H in there.
Thank you. Okay, so it'd be... perhaps like that. Constitution. But the two,
Yes.
actually, the U would be corruption for two O's. The Constitution and the two O's. So the T, so as we can look at the nature of the T, and we would use the capital T in particular, is used just like, remember we talk about the T as being a navigation symbol, a symbol of the sword,
Yep.
and then also a symbol of sacrifice.
Yep.
So the T in this instance is being used as a sword, and they're stabbing the word with it, replacing the SH.
Okay,
It's a
yep.
killer.
Yep. Wow.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Symbolic. I mean, that's what they're doing with other words. That's one example of many shun suffixes. Many shun. They're killing the light, right? Because shun is shine.
Yes.
And they're killing the light. That's the occultic.
And
right?
there are so many words that end in T-I-O-N. So many.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Wow.
called confusion. That's called Babylon, because a word is supposed to look like it sounds. And
Yes.
that's why when people come to America and speak a foreign tongue and try to learn our diction, they say English is the hardest diction to learn on the planet.
Yes.
Because it doesn't make sense. It's a code. It's a bastard. It's corruption. Got no mommy, because it has no origin for legitimacy. It is made out of the College of Abbreviators run by the Vatican Curii. So thank you for that observation. That way, okay, that was good. And yeah, that way's paying attention.
Yes.
Then we might be shunned. Well, there's the shun right there. When who was it? Kip was talking about shun, but actually, see now you see the word shun is a corruption of the word shine. You see?
Yeah.
And so what are we? So what are they doing? What are they doing? They want to shun the light, right? So
Yeah.
the shine is shining, but they changed the word sound a little bit, and now they're shunning the shine because
Wow.
they don't like the shine. You see? That's culture.
Wow. They have just mixed it up and flipped it everywhere. Everywhere. Desert?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're making lemonade out of lemons, right?
Yes, we are.
All right. So a good quote by Nikola Tesla, because we just saw there was a YouTube. I don't know. I hope I may have forwarded it to you, but
Yeah, you did. Yeah. It was on my
to free energy
Yeah.
in Texas.
Yeah, it was
Right?
on
Yeah,
my to-do
McLaren,
list.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to drive through McLaren when I drove 18-wheeler and going to Dallas area. And so Nikola Tesla, he had a quote. This was Jamie on what's the name of that channel?
A Plain Truth.
Higher Truth.
A Plain
Higher
Truth.
Truth channel. Yeah, so check out Higher Truth
A
channel.
Plain
No,
Truth.
Higher Truth. No.
No, it was a Plain Truth.
Yeah, that's the naturopath. A Plain Truth. Yeah. So look for A Plain Truth, and Jamie does great work. Was exposing the Genocide project up in Paradise with the fires and everything. So he had a quote on this free energy device that was being already built in Texas. Interesting that they now have their free energy. I think what it is they're setting up for when everything shuts down. They've already now building their alternative, just like when they get, when this new age is in full blown, they intended to come out with their anti-gravity beam on it, the free energy, all the stuff that we could have had, that instead they got us into carbon, petrochemical production, and with the chemical plants that destroyed the ozone layer, we could have that free energy, and we could have literally,
Yeah.
had a world that was better and not polluted the way it is, and now destroyed. So all of that modern age is what did it when they had the secret technology all along.
Yeah.
Let me cough. I'll be right back.
Just while you're coughing, I just want to add that a couple of years ago, on TV, they told us this, as per usual. They told us this was going to happen. This was what they were going to do when the grid went down. I remember a TV show. I think it was called Revolution, and it was exactly that. All the power suddenly went down. Everyone was back, starting from scratch, and like all the TV shows, there was a resistance involved, and the elite had their own energy, and the general population were oblivious to this. They just thought the entire world had no power anymore. Yeah, so they told us this. Desert. They always have to tell us what they're doing in advance.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a little. I've taken some extra health product since last night to try to combat the hip injury, and now my body's cleaning out, so I'm been coughing here, and I apologize. So I don't know
That's okay.
how that's going to work out. We'll take it by ear, but good comments there, Kid. There's a lot of, or not Kid, but that way there's a lot going on, certainly within addiction, and it's all over the place. So yeah. Good stuff. So to quote by.
Did you want to take a quick break, or you want to take a quick break?
Well, I don't think it's going to help. I'm just going to cough it out as I go here because.
Okay. Just let me know.
I think. So Nikola Tesla said, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence." So what Tesla's talking about, of course, is the invisible energy that is all around us that we can't see because it is beyond matter.
Yeah.
It is metaphysical to our world, but yet it's going along for the ride on the physical. It rides, and therefore, so what that symbolizes then is another element of what we're doing. In other words, we're going beyond the physical to the spiritual, and even Tesla is saying the energy is beyond the physical, and the energy, the pure invisible energy, is the closest representative of the power of Yahweh that there is. Literally, like they say, the one hour of sunshine beams out enough energy to fuel everything on the planet for an entire year if we could harness it.
Yeah,
right?
I've seen that during my research adventures. Thank you, Desert.
Yeah. So that's good stuff there. So a couple words, real quick, and let me see which one I want to do. So okay, so you put that video up on NinjaCat 111, and that was talking about the earthquake patterns, and then they were showing this
the lingam, yes,
shape of a military type of operation, and in the ground is clearly what looks to be like a lingam, and so ling, the L again being the obelisk, and just to qualify, if anyone does a search on lingam, then in India, or they look at Ninja's video there, they'll see the different pictures of the Hindu, what they call the Hindu lingam. It looks almost like a lantern in one sense, but really what it is, and they only pick up on half the image, being that the lingam, or the erection that's in the middle, is a male phallus, but it's in a tray that is also designed to look like a woman's vagina. You see?
Yeah,
so,
I can see all that.
Yeah, male and female. So it's having intercourse, and therefore it's implying there's an action of creation that is going on right now, that is continually going on, or to say in the metaphor that the great Mother Father, matter and spirit, or matter and energy, are having intercourse right now continually, and that's true in the metaphysics, because without that nothing would progress or be recreated or reborn, or so everything would die. So it's a continual act of lovemaking, in another metaphor for our cosmic parents. So that's what, as you hear me, I always talk about, once the light comes out of the sun, it's now the fall of Eve. She's continually falling, right? There's another metaphor and symbolism of this creation that is continual. Eve is always falling because she has to, because if she didn't continue to fall, this virgin light, into dense matter, then our lower creation would cease to exist, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So as you may have heard me say, that when you watch the movies, then you'll always see the Hindu element within the movies. You'll see typically a small brown Dravidian, which is typical to somebody native of India, right? You can tell when you see a Dravidian because they look like India, right?
Yeah.
Even though there was the Aryan, so the Dravidian creates a front for the Aryan to hide, because they use them in their portrayal of India, when India was established by the ancient Aryan Zavram, which is sovereign, which is the star ram, which is then was abbreviated as the Brahm, or the Brahmin. You see, because they have to abbreviate the words, otherwise we'd be able to follow the trail back, in a heartbeat. Okay, and so my point is about the movies. Just like when Neo was stuck on the second movie of The Matrix, stuck in the train station, and then he's talking to a Hindu man and wife with a beautiful Brahmin, Dravidian, or Hindu daughter, right? You remember seeing that scene in the Matrix?
Oh, it's been a while since I watched that movie.
All right, that's okay. Well, anyways, he couldn't get on the train, and the train was coming, and then when the train got there, the dark-skinned man and woman, husband and wife, with their daughter, get up, and they're very nice. It was all very beautiful people, very nice conversation, and they say, well, they're going to get on the train, and so Neo's going to follow them on the train. They walk on the train, and then when Neo tries to walk on the train, then the train master, who's this big ugly guy, he stops Neo, pushes him, says, "What do you think you're doing? You can't come on here." And it's like, oh, gee, I thought Neo had all power. Bullets couldn't hurt him. He could fly through the air. Now all of a sudden he can't get on the train. And so because Neo, with his his black dress on, his Catholic priest Jesuit dress, this is conveying a message to the underworld that unless you do your job, Bubba, you're not going to get on the train. And so as long as you do your job, everything will be okay. So it's a reminder to the occultic priests that they better do their job, better not fall in love with their people, and then decide he's not going to participate in mass murder and genocide, right?
Right.
Okay, that's the subliminal messaging.
Yeah.
So when we look at, so we see always the Hindu influence in all the movies. You got to look for it because it's subtle,
yeah.
but it's there.
Yeah.
And then when we see this military operation and the symbol of creation, the lingam, and we even see the word that came to mind when I'm thinking of ling, because we see it like in the word darling, my object of the one that I'm pointing at, or because ling, dar is the prime root of the word dart, and so I'm darting, darling, towards you, in the symbolism, of penetration again, because that's what the lingam is representing, and so we don't see the original thought in the word. We never think of it, but we see that it's two words, darling, and that's again how they abbreviate words so that we don't get the picture of what it really implies, and it's darting and ling, the symbol of creation. So it literally means my female counterpart that I like to have sex with. Basically, is what darling means. Okay, that's original thought, and so you never thought about it that way before, I'm sure, Ninja, right?
No, Desert, not that way.
but yet now you can see it, right?
I can see it. I can, as you're explaining it, my jaw's on the floor already. Seriously.
Yeah, and I never analyzed the word before. That's the first time you heard it here live on the broadcast. That's why we only have 4 listeners, because people just can't seem to wrap their mind around the esoteric nature of our world, and they just want the soft version. Titillate me a little bit, show me some boobs, and I'll be happy, and that's the nature of our insane world. They just, the people are not deep thinkers, but I'm glad we have some deep thinkers here today. I'm happy to have 4 deep thinkers because, that's the nature of this world. You see that people, they don't have patience. They can't hang in there. They got to go watch Tammy and Bippy on the cartoons, and the daily drama of the non-reality of the Washington scene, and it's the insanity. So we're conveying a message here, and it flows right in with my message about the unseen hand, because when they created some military operation in the deserts of California, and they make it to look like a Hindu lingam, the symbol of proactive creation, because what they would claim to be involved in is the proactive creation, or the Shivaism, that is, in that circle where she's doing the dance and she's stepping on the baby, right? She's the one who is the creator and the destroyer. So it's their continual flux of being creators in this matrical creation. And so the symbol then is paramount, on 2 levels, because one, it reveals the unseen hand as being the ancient Aryan Brahmin priesthood that goes back to India, that is behind the Vatican. The Vatican is the front, and as well as all the other cultures, as the banking, Jewish banking, and the royalty, the royal families of Europe, and then the builder boogers, the corporate piece of the garbage that are the ultimate front. That Alex Jones wanted everybody to give their attention to when it was the total diversion. And so then the lingam, is then telling us that, in other words, when I talk about that Washington D.C. is just a fraudulent front, that banking took over, and that they then just use Washington as a prop, so that we don't get the picture that the Federal Reserve banking Jewish Babylonian Talmud is actually in full operation, and that the Washington is the tail, and the Federal Reserve is the head. And so then, when we see Washington operate, and then we scratch our head, wonder why they're killing people and doing all their dirty deeds when they say they're here to love us and to serve us. Oh, it's because there's another government behind the government, and that is the unseen hand, and that's why the White House is actually a house that is designed, that comes out of India. It's a house structure that is designed in India, and so it's Hindu, and so all the different designs of all the buildings are symbolic again. If as Confucius says, signs and symbols rule the world, and not words nor law. So the White House then is that white star, that Adonai, the sunrise, which Adonai means, when you read it backwards, you have India. You see, so it's creating a picture about who's really running the show, who shakes the ground, who is the earth shaker, and then don't forget it. If you are one of them, that's their whole hallmark to remember who the boss really is. Are you getting the picture, Ninja?
Definitely. Desert. I'm so getting the picture. Yep.
It's powerful, right? It's powerful symbolism.
Yep. Exactly.
The prime symbol of creation. Go ahead.
I'm just wowing. Like, wow. Just,
you can't make this stuff up, right?
You can't. I'm seeing it on all levels. Like, I'm seeing it with the Aishavors, with the way they messed with everything. I'm seeing it with the symbolism, with the lingam. I'm seeing everything to do with all the frequencies, how they're manipulating everything. I don't know I don't know how to explain. I'm seeing everything all at once. This lingam that's on the screen, it made me think of Black Mirror, because I googled it. I went on Google Earth and put in those coordinates myself to see for myself when I saw the video, and close up, down here underneath, that is a boat. That is a boat sitting there in the sand. This is black as black, liquid. That's liquid. And the pictures that I had up on the screen before of the lingams, you put liquid in them. And it's all to do with ritual sacrifice and frequencies, and the Black Mirror is also the computer screen that I'm looking at, which is a plasma screen, which is like a liquid, and it's being manipulated by frequencies, and
so
all
I
that.
can elaborate on that a little bit because, can I jump in, or you want to finish your thought?
Just thinking magic mirrors and how they're manipulating with the mind control and all that sort of. It's just everything's connecting. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so,
thank you.
So in India, in Hindustan, and by the way, Hindu was originally spelled Hindoo, and we can find it in Webster's 1828 dictionary, the first American dictionary, and yet we see Hindus today spelled Hindu. So that's the evidence. That's my prima facie evidence for the fact that they changed the two O's into a U, because they don't want us getting the picture about the duality, the two circles being sun and moon, and the polarity that goes along with it. And so the white, remember I just talked about the star, that the what it is representing, what was it in the word, what word was it now, that the white, anyway, the light goes, the Adonai, that they're the star in the east. That's why the woman's branch of Freemasonry are called Eastern Stars, because it represents the Hinduism in the east. We can see the occult nature of all their symbolism that clearly comes out of the East. They even embraced the phony Islamic front as well, and they got all those symbols. But so when they're these half-naked Brahmin or Hindu priests, whatever they are, we see them pouring the liquid over the lingam in their ritual ceremonies all day long. They're just pouring liquid over, like this is what a job. I hope they get paid for it, because they'd be the ultimate fools if they didn't at least get paid for doing that, because all they're doing, in other words, and then they're massaging it, right? So they're pouring white milk, typically it's white milk, over the lingam, and then it's running out, and so now it's been, I guess, blessed or something, or blasted. But and then they're stroking, the lingam at the same time. So it's like a perpetual full day masturbation, is what they're creating.
Wow, that is so sick. Wow.
Yeah, that's all it comes down to. The milk is represents the semen that would come out of the male, but so the white, of course, also then represents the star.
Yeah.
So the lingam, by its symbolism, is also then taking you back to the light of the sun, which is the prime element or symbol of creation, the logo. And therefore, as we continue to talk about the male and female, both come out. It's the female first as the physical creation, and then behind it is the spirit that comes down and is the is the proactive agent behind all of matter. Okay, so I just wanted to add that about the milk and the constant masturbation of this thing all day long. I when I see those pictures of these priests just massaging the lingam all day long, it's like, how can they do this? You know, how can anybody be so limited in their intellectual abilities? You know, but you know, then again, see what we're talking about: secret societies. We're talking about being sold out to an idea that is false, and we see that everywhere in everything, right? Basically.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, they're spraying the skies white, aren't they?
Yes.
They're spraying the sky.
Yes.
You know, to kill us. They're killing their families. They're killing their world. And they'll do it all the way. They'll do it to perfection, right up until the end. Back to you.
Wow. Yeah. I just can't get over it. It blows my mind that we are sitting here today speaking about this. Yeah, wow. Yeah, the duality and in everything, the layers in everything. It's just wow. You won't hear this anywhere else, guys. There's
nobody really talking about the depth of symbolism on like this. I don't think on YouTube. I know there is some that are talking symbolism, but you know we cover the entire universe. Turn on stone.
Yes, exactly. Like everything is covered here. That's why I'm sitting here in awe at the moment. About the fact that I'm actually sitting here in awe. if that makes any sense.
Yeshua is the revealer. I'm not smart enough to figure this out. It was only the desire to want to know, but he also put that desire in me. He put me at the right place. As you know, my address in the beginning was 98 Right Place. Then 1998 is when I fall victim to a government sting operation. So all the symbolism in my life has a connection. It tells me a story about my calling and that I was meant to have this experience, and so it shows the grace of the great Father of Light, because the lie that is being generated is so great. He's got to take somebody, even when they're not worthy, and just grab them by the collar and say, hey, I'm putting you on planet Earth, by the way, and I'm going to give you the ultimate download, and you're just going to have to deal with it, okay? And it's like, and then you wake up crying, and then behind bars in a little crib, and you're looking out the bars saying, who put me here? Why am I here? And then you and right out the gate, the first symbol that affected me was a butterfly. You know, I was affected by a butterfly, and that I captured in the day. My mother put it in a jar, and I put it by the window, and I'm in my crib. And I remember, because butterfly has been significant within my journey, and we know that the butterfly is the ultimate metaphor because we are serpents, aka a caterpillar. But then we have to go into our cocoon. We have to get away from the crowd, go into a cave, and molt. And then at one point we come out a butterfly if we do our work right. And so the butterfly, when I'm in my crib and it's getting dark, and and I'm looking at the butterfly and I'm thinking, gee, the butterfly is not going to live. It's in the jar. I want to set it free. And so I'm calling, Mom. I'm upstairs and she's downstairs. I'm going, Mom. And I remember reaching out to her, and then she comes up, what's the matter? And I say, I want to put the butterfly out. It's going to die. And so she opens the window and lets the butterfly go free, so see how symbolic that was for me, Ninja. I couldn't have that butterfly. I knew it was going to die, and to let it go free, right? And so
wow.
That's how the symbolism in my life, it was there. And then the butterfly, again, when I was incarcerated, had a vision of a butterfly that was profound up in the sky. And then I also, when I just went on my journey to walk across America at age 17, studied how to live off the land, and that's when I was leaving everything behind. I went by myself. I didn't even go with a friend or anything, because I was very much a loner. You know, I had friends, but they were like non-friends. You know, and so I borrowed my mother's car, went to a movie in the town of Edison, the light bulb. I was in Edison. There's another symbolism, you know, Edison, New Jersey, and went there to Menlo Park. That's where Thomas Edison actually had his research laboratory. And so I went to Menlo Park to a movie theater there I grew up going to, and saw the movie Papillon. If you remember Papillon, he was somebody who was sold into prison and went to French Guiana, into the prison camps of French Guiana, where most people die real soon. And Papillon had a butterfly on his chest. And I don't remember the definition of the word papillon. I think it was symbolic as well. But papillon, the Father beyond, is, on the literal sense, papillon means the Father beyond. So there you go. And the butterfly, you know, was on his chest. And so he was continually wanting to be set free. Dustin Hoffman was in the movie, you know, and he's continually wanting, and this was a true story, and he's continually wanting to be set free. And they keep trying to escape, but they keep getting captured. And then in the end, he jumps off of a giant cliff. They're put on the final island because the camps are no longer in existence, but they survived it. He and Dustin Hoffman, and they're on top of this high mountainous island. But still, Papillon's going to get off, and the stuntman Dar Robinson did the jump off the cliff for Steve McQueen. That was Steve McQueen who was Papillon. But Papillon jumps off, and then he onto a raft made of coconuts. And he floats away and gets in the current and becomes a free man and writes the book. You know, so it's so the butterfly thing has also been with me symbolically in my walk, because it's about my desire for transcendence, my desire for wanting to live forever, for recognizing that I am an eternal being, not eternal. That's the corruption. It's the eternal, because the A of a compass keeps going around creating the circle, and the circle never stops. It has no beginning, has no end. You see, and so that's us going back to our source. And so the Father put in me the desire to want to know, and has been revealing his original thought, his higher addict diction, all throughout my walk in my life, and it's been an incremental growth, and the horizon gets bigger and bigger and bigger as I go down the trail. You see, and so not many people are willing to do that. It's really not a modern thing, you know, because the ancient traditions, especially like if you read the Colbrand, and you'll find out that those people back then, all of them were trying to touch eternity. They knew the world was an illusion, and the sun was the great logo and the way back home, you know. And it's just in our modern time that we've been prejudiced against the sun. Like if we talk about the sun, we must be sun worshipers or something, not recognizing the truth of that lie, because the sun is nothing other than a symbol of a great house. Down here, we are still in the house of the sun, because the radiance of the sun goes straight out, right? We're in that envelope that we see at the point, but we're covered by that light, correct? So we're in the light of that sun. We are in the house of the sun, whether we acknowledge it or not. We look at it as being something far away, but actually it is right here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an illusion. It's all about perspective, and all about, you know, our bearing as to where we see we are, right?
Yes.
Or if we're brain dead, you know, and we're not going to see anything. So we have to meditate on all things. We have to be. That's why, like when you know, I go to the Christian bookstore, like in Pasadena, Texas, as I was in my first phase of major research, you know, as a young man, and I go there and they'd say, "Oh no, you don't need to do this. You don't need to read that." They even put me off 2 years from reading Lamsa when they told me their false interpretation of how the Bible, you know, translation by George Lamsa came to be, the Peshitta, and they put me off 2 years because I was turned off to it when they gave me a false narrative. But you know, so it's like the narrow-minded Christian. You're saying, don't read nothing else, just read your King James, and you know, because everything else is voodoo and voodoo and hoodoo and voodoo, and you can't have nothing to do with that, you know. And so it's like, in contrast to that, I'm reading everything. I'm examining everything. I leave no stone unturned and no turn on stone to see if it can carry water. You know, I studied you know, metaphysics, physics, science, geology, mythology, etymology. You know, all of it. Egyptian. You know, falsely called. Right now that we know the truth, and so I had to study everything because I felt everything was relevant within my universe. Who knows what I'll discover? How am I going to discover something if I turn it off and say I can't even look at it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You got to be willing to hear. In other words, if I'm a conduit for truth, then either when I'm confronted with different ideas or different books or different traditions or thoughts, what have you, I will then know whether it is true or whether it is not. The reason I had to read half the Quran, not because I wanted to be one of them, but because if I'm going to talk about it, how can I talk about it unless I read it?
Exactly.
And I read the Book of Mormon, not because I want to be a Mormon, but because I wanted to know what they're about.
Yep. Exactly.
Thinking, thought,
yep,
idea, falsehood, lies, deceit, deception, all of that. You know, secret societies. What a major occupation this is. So naturally, most people wouldn't want to have to venture into all this. They're trying to have a normal life in their mind and just have a family and get on having the little fun they got left on Earth.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Or thinking they're falsely going to live forever because they've been lied to, and the lie is pretty good. So yeah, I can have my cake and eat it too. Sure.
Yep. Yeah. When you were saying that, it just reminded me again of the amount of people out there that just are so quick to accept anything that they're being told, like especially people that are putting videos out regarding searching for truth and getting through the lies and deception. They don't do their research. They don't look into all this stuff that most, like you were saying, they don't look into all this stuff that you wouldn't want to read, like as light reading. And therefore they're not getting the big picture, and they're putting out false information, thinking that they're putting out truth. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So there's so much confusion and misinterpretation and missing puzzle pieces. Which are contributing towards false truths everywhere, and it's just getting worse and worse. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this, is what I'm saying. I'm grateful for this.
You're greatly filled?
I'm grateful for this. Very grateful.
Oh, no, there's two words. You see, it's abbreviation. It's greatly filled.
Oh, okay.
You see?
I haven't heard that.
Filled.
I haven't heard
That's
you say that
thought.
one. I haven't heard you say that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So always, but remember, always have your cup half. Well, here's the question. Okay, there's a glass of 8 ounces of water, right?
Yeah.
And so it's got 4 ounces of water in it. Okay, so the question is it half full or is it half empty?
It's both.
Thank you very much.
Duality.
You must have heard me say that before, right? Or did you know that? No, but you get that answer, right? I think she's listening to me. Okay, but anyway, that's okay. She may have got it on. She's right. It's both. You see, it's both half full and half empty, and therefore we have to maintain that. In other words, we never want to be filled to the top because then there's no room for anything else. So we always want to be at the balance of medium where we can see more, where we can read more, where we have to hear something we've never heard before. How can we advance if we will not listen to anything that we have never heard before? We just want to hear the same old parroting rhyme.
Yeah.
Jesus loves you, yes I know, for the Bible tells me so.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Free thinking. No free thinking in a cultic world. You're going to think what we tell you to think, and that's all. Okay. So I got my Smiths out, and my back that was hurting that day. I couldn't even get up to go get that book to just get into what we were talking about. So I'm doing a follow-up. So Medusa. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's got a paren. It doesn't have the definition here. It says gorgons. Okay, so sounds like the gore is gone, but there may be the bull is somewhere hiding in there. We'll find out. So I went to gorgons, and then we see the word gorgo, and gorgons. There's the word gorge. and so it's got some interesting terminology with it, and then it's got the Greek, which I can't read because they changed the letters. If they would have just kept those same Phoenician letters, we would be okay, but they had to switch them out too, because then we'd be confused again, and I don't want to learn those squiggly little Greek letters when I already knew my capital letters, and we're going to talk about later. So the trickery is in. But the Gorgons, so what does it say here about Gorgons? Let me turn a little more light on here. Okay. So Homer mentions only one Gorgo, and so that's what the Medusa is being called, and the Gorgo, another term. So there again, there's the act of confusion, because they tell us one thing, and then now we're hearing another word for the first time. I don't remember hearing about the Gorgons. So who appears in the Odyssey? So Homer mentions only one Gorgo who appears in the Odyssey. I'm going to have to go to the other side of my desk here. Oh, I get better light. Hang on. Okay, and then he gives the verse and chapter as one, and that's in 11:633, as one of the frightful phantoms of Hades. Okay, I gotta make another adjustment there. Okay, hang on. All right, we're doing it. They got all the money. We don't have any money, but we can get it done. Hang on.
Yes, we do.
Issue my book now. All right, so in the Iliad, the aegis of Athena contains the head of Gorgo, the terror of her enemies. Hesiod mentions three Gorgons: Sephino, Uriel, and Medusa, daughters of Phorcys, sounds like forceps, and Ceto, whence they are sometimes called Phorcides. Hesiod places them in the far west in the ocean, in the neighborhood of Night and the Hesperides. But later traditions transferred them to Libya. That was a good idea, I think. They were frightful beings. Instead of hair, their heads were covered with hissing serpents, and they had wings, brazen claws, and enormous teeth. Medusa, who alone of her sisters was mortal, was, according to some legends, at first a beautiful maiden, but her hair was changed into serpents by Athena in consequence of her having become, by Poseidon, the mother of Chrysaor and Pegasus in one of Athena's temples. Her head now became so fearful that everyone who looked at it was changed into stone. Hence the great difficulty with Perseus had in killing her. See Perseus. Athena afterwards placed the head in the center of her shield or breastplate. And so there's the meaning of that mythological story.
Desert!
What?
I just saw something. Wow. You know how... Wow.
Well, we used to get stoned all the time when we were teenagers, so that's something new.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm trying to remember. It's from Forbidden History Live. Wow. Which is where I brought up Medusa in the first place. I don't know. I might be mixing something else up with it. I was just thinking turning to stone. Oh, that's right. We were talking about the medical symbol. And there was another part where we were talking about the chimera. Is that how you pronounce it? Chimera. I was just thinking of the camera, and Yeah, when you were talking about Medusa turning people to stone, people stand there like a statue to get their photo taken
Yeah.
by a camera.
Yes.
That's what I was seeing. I was putting had the two things together in my mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Okay. And
Yeah.
by the way, I just saw a notification, and I got it wrong. A plain truth is a plain truth with a number 2 after it. A plain truth 2.
Oh, okay, that's his
Okay.
backup channel. Okay.
Yeah, because they deleted his other
Yeah.
one when he was exposing the genocide program, and so he did all this fantastic work living up in the area of paradise. So guess who took down his channel because they are obviously don't care that genocide was occurring in paradise.
Yeah.
He's got something about predictive programming deaths. Prince, Robin Williams, Joan Rivers, Judge Scalia. This sounds like an interesting expose he might be doing, and so you might want to check that out later.
Yeah.
Well, plain truth, do all one word.
There's also a link to the Texas Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
the
also
tower,
a link to
tower.
that one in the description on the one I mirrored with the Linghams. There's links there.
Yeah, they show the original tower that Tesla made in Long Island, and how the government actually went and blew it up. So and the whole reason was, of course, Tesla was going to provide a conveyance for free energy and a mechanism for global communication all together, because he knew that sound wave also travels on the energy wave. So just like energy goes through the wire, and you can also send a signal of communication through the wire, same deal. So what it was Carnegie was the front for the Vatican here as the banking magnet, and so he once he learned that Tesla wanted to give away the energy for free, that's when they realized they had to tear it down, because they wanted to lock everyone in on slavery and to pay their monthly bill to the controllers, the Zionist controllers that are the front for the Vatican, the banking and all that. So that's why Tesla's free energy communications tower was taken down, because they couldn't make a profit on it, nor enslave us. It would have set us all free. So that's what that was on the bottom line is on that.
Wow. I'm gonna have to let the cat in a minute, just so you know. He's about to break the window down. But I just have a thought that I just want to put out there. I can't help but think of like Tesla with the free energy and the frequencies and the way they travel. Our main communications network here is called Telstra, which sounds very much like Tesla. Telstra. It used to be called Telecom, and they renamed it about 20 years ago to Telstra. I'm just. It
also sounds like Telstar.
Wow.
Another way to look at it, Telstar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
well. Sorry. I have to let the cat in.
Okay.
It's cold out there. It's cold out there. Yeah.
Okay, and so it was George Bush Sr. Who Skull and Bones Brotherhood of Death, who acknowledged on his deathbed that he also, not only did he kill President Kennedy, but he also killed Nikolai Tesla, so that the feds can get all of his paperwork, all of his materials, and pilfer it. So that's basically what happened, ladies and gentlemen. They destroy everybody and use everybody and chew them and spit them up. That's all they do. It's a criminal cartel racket, and what do? They've been killing all these years, right? The medical doctors, the naturopaths, anybody who's waking up, the chiropractors, or the free energy people, the 100-mile-an-hour carburetor, or the free energy, the hydrogen carburetor running off water. All these people were murdered. They murdered them because they want to be in control. They don't want people to be set free. Okay, so and it's and the Freemasonry is at the front of the death squad, and the henchmen. The Shivaites. Okay, yeah. And that reminded me of another word, if I can think of it. Okay, yeah, Aryan. What was that? Yeah, I had a great revelation of a word. Geez. I can't remember now. It had to do with the word Aryan, and it was a compound of another word, and like it was hiding right in front of us. So hopefully I'll think of it again, and I'll be able to share that. We're getting everything recorded here. So you back, Ninja?
Yes.
Okay, so then why don't we go to a break? Maybe I'll remember it while we're on the break. Let's do a long break, okay, so I can recharge here, and then we'll be in the Dictionary of Scriptures and Myths, and then after that we're going to go to the alphabet and start with the letter A. Again, you're going to show the graphics once we get there. Okay, so back to you.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I'd like to welcome any new listeners. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after the break. Just bear with me. I'm just looking for some music. Won't be a moment. Okay, we'll see you after the break. Okay, welcome back, everybody. And I'd like to welcome any new listeners to the program. You're listening to the Forbidden History Chronicles with NinjaCat 111 and Dezert-Owl from the Forbidden History series and Forbidden History Live. If you are not subscribed, please do so. All links and information are in the description on all these live streams. Desert's currently broadcasting from Forbidden History Live, and the Forbidden History series is his other channel. Please go back to June 21st, 2018 and listen from there. That way you'll get the picture. Yeah, it's amazing. I have no other échevelle's for it, Desert. It's totally amazing. Also, sorry, the cats having a bit of an argument next to me. Also, to help you understand or comprehend what we're talking about here, there are PDFs available. I'm just looking for the PDF graphic. I have such a long list of graphics. There's PDFs available. All the information is in the description. Just my email's there. Just email me if you'd like to get some copies. We have the Book of Wisdom available and the original Gospel with Desert's Dictionary. Oi! Stop it! Sorry. I know we are live. We have the original Gospel with Desert's Dictionary attached to the back of it, and we also have Desert's original copy of the dictionary, the real Da Vinci Code, Etymological Dictionary, available. We also really appreciate any size donation. We're not monetized here. We're doing this just because we want to and we have to. So yeah, any size donation would be greatly appreciated. Contact details for donations I will have to add to the descriptions on these live streams. If you go to Forbidden History Live, all the details are there in the description. Okay, welcome back, Dezert-Owl.
Okay, well, good to be back, and thank you for all that effort you put out, Ninja. And I want to welcome Corey. So we got Corey Reeves jumping in, and we have friends on the just the listening side as well, no doubt, and want to welcome any new listeners to the broadcast. And so we're going to talk about the. I'm going to bypass the dictionary on scriptures and myths and just get into the alphabet. I'm being challenged a little bit today, and we haven't had a very big audience coming in, so we're going to probably have to put up notifications so that we can let people know they can plan on being here, because it's helpful. Any of those little things is helpful. You're doing great work, and we're pumping out the most important information on the face of the entire earth or under the earth. And here is where each week we bring you the very best in radio broadcast listening, while we reveal the greatest secrets and the deeper mysteries of life. Yet the one question that will always remain will be this, and I guess it is really true: can you handle the truth as it will be presented here today? Because some people can't handle the truth. They just say, hey, come on, don't give me the truth. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Just give me the fiction, please. I love that fantasy story and that great illusion. I can handle that, because then I can stay asleep. I can stay asleep, okay? And I can just live in the illusion, that who was that in the movie The Matrix who sold out? That was Cypher, wasn't his name Cypher?
I think so.
Was it Cypher? Yeah,
I'll have to rewatch, but yeah, it rings a bell. Yeah.
Cipher was the code. Yeah. And okay, and so you need to go to the alphabet, Ninja, on letter A. That's not
Yeah.
very good
I'm
image. That's hard to read. I don't know why that's so hard to read.
I put I'll redo them. I apologize.
Okay.
Just
We gotta go
advertising
to,
advertising the
letter A.
PDFs. I'm just looking for it.
Yeah.
Sorry. There we go. You'll see it in a minute.
All right.
Bit of a delay.
There we go. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a better image. I'm going to have to blow up my screen probably. That'll help me. So if someone is asking a question, I'm not going to be able to see it. You'll have to let me know because I need to look at the screen superimposed. So, okay, so, but wait a minute, there's a letter A above. You've got to go back up a little bit, right? Because that's not the top. We want to start at the top of letter A.
Okay. So I've got them out of order. These are just screenshots.
No.
So
No. Well, no. Why don't you just open the dictionary so we can scroll?
okay. 1 second.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. That way we can go, scroll, because we were going to scroll through the alphabet of letter A after we did the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that.
You're going to do a desktop. You're going to open it on your desktop, and you're going to do desktop view.
Yeah, I don't want to.
You've done it before.
Yeah.
You've done it before.
I'm just looking for my just getting my files. I don't want to accidentally shut down the stream while I'm looking. That's all.
Okay. Well, do you want to bypass this till next time? We could do something else, but we need to.
No,
do
I'm
this
almost
correctly.
there. Almost there.
Oh, you're almost there.
Almost there.
And and we should add Ninja is under the ultimate stress, and so this
Yeah,
is all
sorry.
okay because
I don't.
she's working on an empty tank, and somebody's trying to drain the rest of it, and it's not very good happening.
Yeah, I don't really feel with it right now, even though I'm following and getting the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just waiting for it to load. It won't be a moment.
Yeah. And by the way, anything that comes in for the dictionaries or the sample copy of the original thought translation has the dictionary, 100-page dictionary attached to it, or the Book of Wisdom, any of that on this program, I give half of it to NinjaCat, okay, because she needs support as well. And so anytime you're making a love offering for any of our work, or just an outright gift, Ninja and I, are helping each other out in this endeavor. And so do consider helping out. You have no idea what she's going through. I'm targeted. We're both targeted individuals as well, but we also are dealing with other stresses that don't help you either. So realize what we're doing here and how significant this project is, ladies and gentlemen. We have the original thought, that which is first, is superior. Okay, and no, you're in the wrong dictionary. You're in the Ninja. You're in the wrong dictionary. This is the real Da Vinci Code etymological dictionary from 2011. We need to go into the original thought translation. You had the sample page up in the beginning, and so it's in the original gospel. It's at the latter part. It's behind the original gospel in that document.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's the real Da Vinci Code. Anybody wants that? That's a 300-page dictionary. It's a classic, okay, and it'll blow your mind. That's a finished product. I never was able to afford to publish it, so it's strictly on PDF. But we're trying to get into my most current dictionary because the most contemporary is the most complete and succinct, and so that's where we're trying to get to. And there you go. And so behind that is, in back of that is the dictionary. So
sorry,
we're there. You go, right there. You see that? Okay. There you go. And so scroll.
Where am I scrolling to? Tell me when to stop.
Well, that's open better, but you need to start on the left-hand side and go a little further. Let me read that quote right there. Let me read that quote, okay? The spoken word publications, and then we'll scroll on it once I get to the read. Now, you bumped it up. I can't read it now.
Yeah, you'll see it in a
Okay.
second.
All right.
You got it?
All right. There you go.
Okay.
Back bump it up a little more because I something's at the top I can't read and I want to see what that says.
Okay.
A translator above a translator shofar, because we're defining words, so let's just do it right. Okay, so there you go. So a quote from Revelations, and I saw a royal star Malachim seated upon the throne of the sun. That's what we had on the broadcast, the last broadcast we did on Forbidden History Live.
Yeah.
Right. That Ezekiel, that vision of Ezekiel, and he sees somebody seated on the throne of the sun, and there's where it was in Revelations 19:17. People, they read these things, but they never get the picture. Wait a minute, seated in the throne of the sun, standing in the sun. Wow, what? And don't get the idea that wait a minute, something metaphysical is beyond the physical realm. And it said in the beginning that the breath of Yahweh breathed into a star, and there was light. There is light, and so they don't get pictures. They're reading from the dead side of their brain, the slavery side, and therefore just give me the quote: "Jesus loves you." Yes, I know, for the Bible tells me so, and that's all I can know. That's all I can know. I don't know anything else. I don't want to know anything else. Don't give me anything else because I can't process it. I'm a slave. Okay. Let you know Jesus loves me. Yes, I know. Now let me get back to work. Okay. And never expanding the horizon, above that. And so let me just see what's above that, a little further up, okay? Because I want to make sure I know where we're starting, and then we're starting the series about this the alphabet. So we're going to work down from the top. So okay, so that's right at the end of all the different abbreviations. Those are the samples of the abbreviations, and now we're scrolling. So I just want to make sure we're at where we were at the beginning. So continue, so I can read further on the quote. Go up now. I read the Revelations 19:17, and now we're going to read an etymologist burning east wind. That's me. My east wind is burning. The wind that the sun rises in the east. So when we hear about something dealing with the east, like the Eastern Star Witches, they came from the east. The rainbow class, okay? We call them rainbow girls, and then we know what else means the rainbow, But the original rainbow was the colors of creation, and that and that leads me to another point, because when we talked about the sun, the fiery sun, and I had it written down for today, and remember that the Earth was first destroyed by water, not the entire world, but the majority of the region of the middle here, what we call the Mediterranean Sea was the Great Flood. But then he said that. But then the rainbow occurred to be a covenant to say he would never destroy the world by water again, and the next time he would destroy it by fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how we ended the story about Adam. We talked about how Yeshua came. The first Adam came because the second Adam, depending upon which association you're talking about, the second Adam in the book Hebrews is Yeshua, but he was also first. So it depends upon what part of the story you're talking about. But nonetheless, he said he would destroy the world by fire, and so that's what Yeshua did. What did he say to one of his in one of the scriptures? He says, "I'm igniting a fire upon the earth." And what is that to you if I fan it until it's a great blaze? So he has now destroyed. Remember, I said that time ended. Remember when I was quoting Hebrews, and I said the end of the world. He said at the end of the world, that's when Yeshua came, and I said that also meant the end of an age. And so what was the result of that event when I say that he ushered in the golden age of light? How was the world destroyed if it was the end of the world? He destroyed it by his fire, the fire of truth. You see, so it's an invisible fire. It's an invisible destruction because life went on, but it's really death. Death went on, and people still went on in the world. We see what the Vatican did to people in Europe, burning people at the stake. What a utterly despicable and the most cruel form of treatment. Any torture is bad, but the fiery tortures they put people through, and so the world was destroyed by fire in the Great Mystery, and that's why he says that in the old time, one of the scriptures says in the old time, Yahweh tolerated blindness, which was then transliterated as sin, that he tolerated it, but he said now no more. He commands everyone to rebreathe with the breath of a star. That's repent. Rebreathe with the breath of a star. Okay? So that's the only way one can have a relationship with him. We got all these people out there in the outer darkness where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth, thinking they're serving the one who made all things, and then when a tragedy happens, they say, why did God do this to me? You see? Because they don't have a relationship with him, and they want to blame him when they're the problem. Because they're living a superficial, plastic, phony, spiritual walk. That is not true, it's not correct, it's incomplete, and it's all misleading by the pulpit. And so this is why knowing the symbol again and the metaphor, you can know where you are within the story, because it's a great mystery. It comes to us in a mystery. It's not on a silver tray wrapped in tinsel gold, and here you go, nothing for you to figure out. We're just, it's all spelled out for you. Well, in one sense, it is spelled out for you because it's within the alphabet, it's within the eight shavors, but they've all been corrupted. And so that's why we're now going to talk about the alphabet, because we have to get back to the beginning. And what came out of the throne of the sun, which is what was breathed into Adam, is the gnosis, and that is knowledge. And that is also into the nasal, which is, that was appropriate timing, the nasal ray, and I just breathed out of the nasal ray some dust, I guess. But, so we're going to talk about the symbolic nature of these symbols, because they are symbols, and they breathe light. They breathe light, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And so a translator is shofar. So I am a translator, shofar, transliterator. Translation is like presto magico. It's more correctly transliteration. And shofar is the ram's horn. It is the book, what we call Bible. That's correctly shofar. And a scribe is a shofar. And what it means is the knowledge. Shul is knowledge. That's the original word for school. Scottish Rite put the C in front of the S to hide the word shul, and we never get the picture. In Deutsch, it's to schulen, and there's the other aspect of shul, and that's Yal Shulen Va is the most primitive of the name of Yahshua. And so Shulen Far, Shulfar, means the knowledge, school being knowledge from far, the knowledge from afar. So when you're reading the book, what it means is you're reading knowledge from the ancient past, from far away time. And or when you hear the ram's horn, you're hearing the knowledge from afar, way over there on the other mountain. The knowledge is coming. The new moon is now appeared. So shul and far, and nobody defines these terms like this in the pulpit and anywhere else, unless you do your own legwork and research. You can discover it, but these are all the fragments that have been destroyed. So that's why we're going to doing our primer. We're working our way through the Eish of Wars, the original word for word. And note that it starts with the letter A. The Eish of War, Aisha, two words. A is the royal I, Shah is the royal. So A is the I, Aisha, royal I. And the Vor means the center. The royal I at the center. Well, that's a metaphor for the sun, but we're also at the center of our own universe. So we are royal eyes, but we've had our eyes put out by the occultic so that we can't see. Nobody's telling us the truth. So you must see and so this is the non-spoken word publications. I've had this non-spoken word ministry since I was probably in my late 20s. I had I conceived of and used the term non-spoken word publications right from the beginning of my spiritual walk, and it's taken all this time to get here to be publishing because I was unraveling the great mystery. I couldn't write when it wasn't all complete, and now it's pretty well complete, ladies and gentlemen. There's still elements to be discovered, but it's a very complete package now of discovery that we're presenting here. So you must see and read it for yourself. That's what behold means. Behold. Do you like that, King James, behold? Well, it doesn't give you a picture, because what it literally means when it was said at the beginning of some important statement by Yeshua, it was, you must see and read it for yourself, okay? So, I got to get a pillow for my neck here. You must see and read it for yourselves with your inner eye for vision, because that great light of our natural and etheric obligation, which brings health and healing to a dead world, has appeared before all Ashan. The correct word for men is originally Ashan. It means the royal eye that came down. A-Sha-N. A-Sha-N. The N is what comes down. The royal eye that came down. See, we came down from the light. It's telling us in the word. And this pure way, men means criminal and sinner in the Old English and worse in the Talmud. And the pure way, it's hard to get away from using that term, but we have to. And this pure way changes our outer obligations of rules and regulations into an inner surrender for perfect truth and perfect peace within a perfect Ashan. It is good when the river runs wide and when the river runs deep, because in this is where we can find the peace before our own mortal passing, which is what we have to do, as we greet the great eternal Zay. This is the place where one world is just as two worlds, and a place where two worlds are just as one world. That's the great mystery. Come now and listen to an etymologist's burning east wind, which is the star message of a translator shulfar, a Micah Hill Dezert-Owl. Yours truly. And then if you scroll a little more, Ninja, keep working our way till we have to go to the next column. The star revealing the star message within. The real Da Vinci Code, etymological, Electionary dictionary. There you go. That's good enough. Electionary is, see, dictionary is a corruption. You can know because of the D in front of it. So it's like the dead dictionary. The dead, the dick is, it's lek. The correct terminology is lek, and there we can hear the word for lecture, election, eclectic. You see, so the word lek, correctly spelled L-E-K-H, and it's interesting because it sounds like lack, and then they give us a negative sense of the word lack, like it means empty, but it has something to do with being full, and that's how they reverse the meaning of all things. The game is and then we go to an election. In election, they got us voting for the criminals. In the election, when it implies that that's supposed to be the highest thought, and they got us all made into fools, voting for both criminals, one or the other. And they say if there were more fools, then we'd have a better situation, which is another big lie. Stupidity. So anyway, just rambling here. Electionary dictionary and thesaurus. Primer. Yes, a thesaurus, because at the bottom I tell you to see these other words. That's the thesaurus. Is taking you to other possible definitions in the dictionary, lectionary. And so these are called the divine keys of fire. The seeds of light. That's the year alphabet. The seeds of light. Light seeds. And the vowels in particular as well, because they allow you to change the variable meanings of a word. The Indo-Germanic Aramaic mother tongue is the gnosis, sun knowledge that was first breathed into Hadam, the creation, Adam, or dictum, see Indo-Germanic dictum. That which is first is superior and original. And now back up to the top of the right column, please.
Yeah, it'll get to you in a second.
You're doing good. All right, so we got a rhythm here. I got rhythm, you got rhythm too, Ninja, and natural law. But we even entertain every now and then.
Yes,
we're
we do.
Full service.
Yeah.
Nothing lacking. We got to do it all. We will do it all. We're $1 million operation with a disability budget.
True.
I got to go to the Love Center Food Bank 3 times a month to get resupplied, but that's all right because the love is flowing, and that's what the Father has done with us. He's we never. This is not about ever making funny money. It's about providing the greatest wealth in history, which is the knowledge of truth.
Yeah.
And you still provide. So that's the beauty. I've never not had a roof over my head. I've always had food on the table. Maybe I didn't have enough in the budget for an automobile, but that's okay because walking keeps you in shape, and then we, so it's good. But I'm just I like to elaborate sometimes a little bit so people can appreciate the effort that went into this great discovery, because it's Yeshua said he'd take the most insignificant, the most the the least, that would seem to have the potential to do a great work, and then he does a great work with them. So it's all Yeshua. It is not me. All right, and so, but you must see and read it for yourself. And that other quote was natural law.
There's Confucius. There's Confucius right there. Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Okay, that guy. And they see what they did. His name is not Confucius. It's another name. I have it written down somewhere. It's researchable. It's not hard to find.
Yeah, Confucius.
But,
I think confusion with Confucius.
Yeah, they give him the name for confusion. That's what they do. They have to play the game.
Yeah.
And so the ABCs. Okay, so we're discovering now that the ABCs are not correct, and that's a cover for the original alphabet. So we see it here. Originally, the AVG. Interesting that there's an antiviral program called AVG.
Yeah, I've got it.
So I'm pointing down to the coin. I said the AVG on this Roman imperial coin. We can see it on the top 10 o'clock position, but it's upside down. It's upside down, and so I should have done a twisting of that coin, but that's okay. So AVG, you can see, is behind the skull, and behind the skull it's upside down. It's AVG, and so they're telling us the alphabet, and it's a Caesar. It's Caesar AVG, and it means the star. He is the star graphic. The G is also synonymous with geode and geology, but now we can see it's also part of the word graphic, and literally it implies star graphic by its etymology. A V for the star, G for the graphic. That's rather interesting. I hadn't seen it like that before. There's Nero, Caesar, AVG. The star of, the G is a code, so I don't know specifically what it's referring to, but maybe graphic. Below it says it implies control of the universe by imperial rule. A long, long time ago, there was A and an I for the return. That was the riddle that Yeshua gave to me. Abulhe, through Yeshua, gave to me. And it was 10 years before I got the answer. The other part of it started out as a long, long time ago, there was A. And then when I was in Louisiana 6 years ago, the other part of the riddle came, and it was there was an I for the return, an A for the return. A, because EYE is a corruption, it was AY. A is the primary, and that's a projection of light. It's a projection of vision, just like a carrot. The carrot, goes further out as it gets bigger and starts with the point, and that's called the carrot eye. The word charity is carrot eye because the carrot eye is expanding as it goes out, and that's where the word charity comes from. It means when you have a carrot eye, it means you can see suffering, you can see somebody. So you have an eye, you have a carrot eye because there's the word care, to carry somebody, to care about somebody, to have compassion for somebody. See, so there's a profound original thought within a word that nobody ever interprets, being charity, which is carrot I, and the carrot A. And so all these things flow out once we get back to original. So scroll up a little bit more now, Ninja, with the hidden A and the V in the Star of David.
You'll see it in a second.
Yeah, we can just bypass that coin there and start at the hidden. If you can go a little further, there you go, right there. That's good. And so the hidden A, the hidden V. So we see then where is that V hiding? If it's not AB, but it's AV, where is it? Well, you see it's in the cross member. It's in the cross member of of the A. They're giving us the clue. And as we can see, when we connect the point, all the lines, we got the AV are combined. It's an opposite. The V is an opposite of the A, and so the A is the light coming down, and the V is matter, physical creation coming down, the vortex, the unfolding of light. And so it's a star, and so the AV together. When you see the AV, as in Abraham is correctly Avram. The AV, then it means the star ram. He's the star ram. He's the Zav ram. The Z is in front of it. Actually, they abbreviated it, and so that's that's where that goes. Okay, and so we say C. Then I refer you in these the thesaurus to go to 6th Avenue Eve. You see the word avenue, Ave, is synonymous with the Eve. Why? Because it's her road. It's her street. It's her creation. You're going down Eve. You're going down this Eve, even, And 6-point Hindu Star of David, Yabohe, Yabohe, and A-B. Okay, the A in the sun. If we look at the Roman A, it actually doesn't have a cross line, and it has a miniature V tucked up underneath the A inside, and so there's your AV in the Roman version. We may see that in a little bit. So now scroll up, and then the symbol of the sun. We see the A in the picture of a star. The A is in the sun. It's a symbol of infinity. That's what the letter A represents, infinity. And below it is the circle, and which represents the sun, because the compass keeps going around in circles, never ends. And so the A and the circle are one. The A and the O are one in the Great Mystery, and they're the primary vowels, and they have been glossed over by the E and the I, letter I, which is a blind, total blind, and makes you blind when you have it in the words. So symbol. Okay, so what came first is a star. That's right, the sun. That's where I've gone over the first two verses of Ganesha, falsely called Genesis, and showed how they, that it wasn't that the earth was void in the darkness, but that it was not yet made, and in the void is the correct terminology, because it was the sun that was first instituted with the light. The light came, and then boom, everything came out after that, and so that's how the translations were corrupted as well. But you can see it. And there's the A with the V under it, the primitive form of it, in a picture I captured. So the left, the A, the AY is the correct word for the I, and there's the AE combined, from the Latin, which shows the E coming out of the A, or the woman coming out of the Father of Light. The E is that's beautiful. That's too much. That's why they took it out of our alphabet, because it was telling too much truth. And so the sun, and the woman of creation comes out of the light, and the sun. The owl is the symbol that represents the Father of Light, because he's an owl. He sees all things in the darkness, and so we have to be owls too, because we're made in His image, and that's what the owl gets a bad rap, because they call themselves owls, and so that's they're the black owls though, and we're the white owls, and that's all we have to know. And that the owls are cute, beautiful little birds. They got a bad rap being associated with these occultic priests. I'm sure they, like to have them for lunch for giving them a bad rap. But anyway, that's a story for another day. And Egyptian Aleph, the eye of the one. That's the eye of the one. That's, you see. Remember, Yeshua said we have to focus. We got two eyes.
Yeah.
But yet he's a one eye. You see, so that's primordial. But yet when we're made, we get two eyes to show us there's two ways to look, two ways to go. And so what Yeshua says, that your eye has to be focused. And when your eye is made one or focused, then you can see things clearly. So that's the symbolic nature of our having to pull our A's together, not our eyes, but our A's. We have to pull our A's together, and then we can see clearly. That's what we do within the word Aisha. You see, because we got an A at the beginning and A at the end. The first A is, in this mystery, one implies male, one implies female again, and the SH in the middle is the S is the serpent, and the H is the breath. So the serpent is breathing. What serpent? The sun, the A. The sun is the serpent. It's the Ouroboros eating his tail, because every day it goes around and it goes around, it goes around, it goes around, never stops. That's the serpent eating his tail, and it's the cobra on the head of the pharaoh, and that is the cobra means the supporting power. The bra is the support, and the support, cobra, and the royal A. So primary symbol of light and infinity, early form of A with the hidden V. Okay, so below is that primitive early form of the A with the V tucked right under it. You can see that. So we go to the next page, Ninja. Okay, and if you want to stop me with a question, you go right ahead. Okay.
No, I'm loving this. It's actually helping me. it's helping me right now. Like, I love it, Desert.
Right.
This is my chance to see and read it for myself as well, with the little time that I have
Yeah.
through the day. So, and the words
Yeah,
are
well,
speaking, and they're beautiful, and yeah, I love this.
yeah. Well, if you can appreciate how long it takes for these deep meanings to open up, you're looking
Yeah.
at them, you're looking at them,
Yeah.
you're looking at them, and then one day, all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, I see something here, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's had to unfold. It's been a long process of a meditation on these symbols and just looking at them, working with them, spelling them, you know, crazy spellings. I had friends tell me off for being stupid, you know, for using funny spellings and like as if I'm illiterate or something, and they don't get what Yeshua was doing with me, because it's not my work, it's his work, and it's just I was seeing what he was showing me, and then ultimately then I get it. I say, oh, I get it, yeah, okay, you know, and it gets real exciting because you're being communicated with by the one who made all things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is the breath of a star. This is the breath of a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. The star is breathing. Yeshua's breathing through me. He breathes through all of us.
Yeah.
He's whether we know it or not, he can use anybody at any time for his purpose, and they wouldn't even know that they're being used by him very often, because the aid that has come my way through people, the strangers, or however, at different times, and when it was instantaneous at the moment you needed it, all of those things.
Yeah.
So people are used by him to serve his purpose, because he is the sovereign. He is the true dominant, and nobody else has any power other than him. He is our power, just like the sun is our power. If we don't have the sun, we're all dead. So the spirit, also behind all things, is what allows us to continue to breathe and keep on going, even when we're antithetical and against him, if we're, you know, out of the way in the outer darkness. So there is no light inside of us, but yet the light is shining for us, hopefully that we can see it. So we've got to see things in a mystical sense, but also see things in a primitive sense, in the way the primitives saw it, because we're seeing things from how we have been indoctrinated.
Yeah.
And the indoctrination is basically a death indoctrination. It has no inspiration. It's a slave notion that they've given us. It's a slave notion that has no, you know, like in school, right? Don't you know, if you don't, even though these are all lies, if you don't answer the question right, and even though you know the truth, you're going to fail the test. You know, so you've got to participate in the fraud, otherwise you can't pass the grade. You know, and that's the irony of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when it doesn't feel right. Yeah.
Yeah. No free thinking. No challenging.
Yeah.
You know, just listen to what we tell you, and shut up. You know, that's what they want you to do.
Yeah. I just want to say quickly, both Desert and I can't see the chat at the moment, so if you're trying to get a message to us, we can't see it. We're not ignoring anybody, and I'd like to welcome any new listeners and let you guys know that I love you guys so much, and I hope you're enjoying this. It's great. I love it. Please continue, Desert.
Okay, welcome to Hans. And Hans says, hey, you guys, you need a larger audience. Greetings on a sunny day again. So, Hans is right. We need a larger audience, but, well, you know, it's open for anyone to come in. We just need a better algorithm. We need hopefully friends to promote and tell others. That'll help out. But it's all being recorded, and people can see it later on. So the AB, the star again, the V under the A. There I show it now next to each other in another way to get the picture one more time. The duality. See the hidden V. Then the A, a consonant. See. Here's the word consonant, right? We use the word consonant for the letters that are not vowels, and then we add the vowels to get the deeper variable meanings of a word, but yet listen to it, right? They're called consonants, but they're not a con, right? In other words, hold on, let me try it again. They are a con. They've conned us with the false letters and the false narratives and the false arrangements, and so the truth is, listen to the word. These letters that we call consonants are correctly sonnets, right? They are simply sonnets. They take the word con off because sonnet means sound. And correctly, the T is silent. The T is silent because we know it's a silent symbol. So they are sonans.
Wow.
Sonans. Meaning that's the word for sonar.
Yeah. Wow, Desert.
Sonar. Sonnet. So
It's,
there's the
yeah.
word sun.
It's right there. It's right there in front of us. Wow.
It's probably the original word was sol noon. And sol noon means the sun at high noon because you can see it. It's a fabrication in creation, and therefore because you can see it, now you're going to hear it. And so it's a sol noon. It's the apex of the graphic in sound. That's the original thought, okay?
Wow. And what about vowel then? What does that mean? What does that mean?
What word?
Vowel. We just did consonant. So
the word vowel. Did you say vowel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Vowel or vowel?
Vowel. It's the Aussie accent.
You're speaking Australian again, right? And
Yes.
I gotta figure it out. Did you say vowel?
Vowel. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, there has to be another meaning to vowel then.
To vowel? To the word vowel?
Yes, that word.
Okay, yeah, there is. Because the word vowel is wove, so they wove to the L. The vowel L, in other words, what we call vowels A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, which is the corruption, because it's A, E, Y, O, and then O, O.
Yeah.
You see?
Yep.
Those are the correct vowels, but there's two mystical vowels. One is the R, there's no restriction. Another one is H, there's no restriction. And the other one is the L, there's no restriction. And those are the secret vowels, the R, H, L. But the L is the primary because it's the symbol of the Egyptian obelisk, and which is a symbol of creation, and also going back to that lingam we talked about. And so literally they took a vow. Oh, that's why it's on the lingam. And that's why they're pouring milk over it all day and massaging it, because they took a vow to the L. They took a vow to the lingam.
Wow.
And so it's called vow L's, E-L for illuminated or enlightenment, you see? But they're dephonally illuminated. So they took a vow to the L, and that's in the term vowel. So we see it right there. It's wove. Vav is wove. And so they wove an occult ritual to the occultic symbol, the occultic Lucifer, and then so it's all their terminology and their corruptions, okay? And so, but we rebuild it, we can see the code. Just like the Hebrew Bible is called Sefer, and Sefer means cipher, you know. And there's, I remember I said there was a word I was trying to remember.
Yes.
I just saw it now, because the word Lucifer, here it is, okay, because we know, my contention is that the Aryans are the ones, you know, the fallen watchers and the ones running the world behind the scene, the Aryan Brahmin priesthood, and, you know, and all this occultic stuff being run by Aryans, and that's why Nazi Germany was a front for that ancient culture as well, and the Vatican is, and, you know, and Meitzar, falsely called Egypt, is, and all that. And so there it is in the word, I don't have a secret moment. Don't have an aluminum moment. Luciferian, right? So here's the word. What's at the suffix? Luciferian? Do you hear a word there?
I hear Lucy, I hear fairy, I hear cipher, I hear Aryan.
Who?
Aryan?
Aryan? Luciferian.
Yeah.
Luciferian, yes. The Aryans are behind the Lucy because she's a cover for the original Aryan, that is Adam. You see? And they had to create a false image so that we wouldn't get the picture of the primordial father of the Aryan race, Adam, as being the most sophisticated and enlightened, the bright one. That's what they call Lucifer, right? The bright and shining star.
Yes.
And it was Adam. You see, so they just like they got to remove it. They want you to think about aliens, but if you change the the L into an R in alien, you get Aryan, right?
Yep.
The trick, the switch out, the
Yep.
game that they play.
Yep. Wow.
And we get it here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad we got all 4,000 listeners on today. Oh, 5,000. We're up to 5,000 listeners now. That's great.
That's fantastic. Okay. Yep.
And Corey says he's a pretty big audience, and no doubt.
Okay,
and,
cool.
very good to have you here.
G'day.
And so,
Sorry, can't see the chat, but g'day.
Yeah, he's throwing you a NinjaCat with two eyes that are the and symbol. So being creative over there. So
Oh.
all right. So now, all right. And so a vowel with a deeper letter sound is a vowel is a word, an Asian word with. I'm gonna try this again.
Okay.
A vowel is a symbol with the deeper or the deepest letter sound. Well, vowels are the owl. Listen to the word vowel. You also hear in there the word owl. You see, so the
Yes.
V, the vowels are the V owls, the V of creation, the V, right, for the virgin creation, the V owls. So all these variables. See how these words are so fluid, right? You can pull this out, pull that out, depending upon how you say it, or and so it's an amazing unfolding that it's taken a long time to be able to build this. So CA as a vowel in a consonant, or which is correctly sonant, in the duality. Able is of L, but now I know. See, I've of late have learned that out of the Babylonian Talmud comes the L, and I should have said able is of Ul, O-O-L. They didn't want us to see the two O's that just like the word elder, the D is a corruption, and so that would be a T, and then the elder, it would then be the Ul Tor, the Ul Tor, meaning the visionary with power. Well, who would have the power of vision other than somebody who's old, who's been around a long time, right? That's why they call them elders, but it's correctly Ul Tor, the Ul Tor, because he's got the power of vision because he's been around a long time. Who do you want to go to if you want to ask an opinion, right? Somebody old that's been around a while, not some young kid who's stupid, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so those are the Ul Tors. So there's the original thought in the diction. So you can back engineer the Aishavors once you know the primordial original root forms and the code. You see, it's just science. And once you know the key elements, then it's just about reconstruction. That's all it comes down to. And you'll know whether the word is purely occultic or whether it's just purely an Indo-Germanic natural deep devolution. There's your word, devil, right there, a devolution, down. That's what devil means, going down, and to the grave. So so continuing here, A gave the power of creation to the V. That's right, because in the symbolism, it's when it was ab, A-B, well, it said that the A is a consonant, not a vowel. The first letter of the alphabet is a consonant, so it's a silent letter, and it gave power to the B. That's why in Aaron we see two A's, but we only say it. We don't go Aaron, or we say Aaron, or Aaron, and so it's only one A is pronounced, one is silent, showing the duality, and the one that is silent is superior because that represents Yahweh, who stands by silently all the time while we do our nonsense. But then the one that is speaking represents the ass. And there's the A in front of the two S's. When Yeshua came into Jerusalem, he was riding on the colt, the baby stallion, behind the ass, and the ass was in front. You see, and the ass represented Yerushalayim, Shalom, Jerusalem. So these symbols are all shouting, but we can no longer interpret their meanings and their associations and how they are used within this the great saga of life, which is the play of the one, because it's all about the one. There's only one, and it's his story, it's his narrative, and that's what the original message in the stars were all about as well, which was corrupted into a phony thing called astrology. So it's just it's a great mystery. So Ninja, let's go to a break. I'd be glad to give it a little more if we could just take one break, and then we'll see how far we can get on this. Maybe we'll stop at the words. We'll just finish this primer on these symbols. Then when we get to the words, we can pick that up on the next program, if you like.
Okay. Sounds good, Desert. Sorry, guys, you're gonna watch me scroll through my long list. I'm trying to find there it is.
Yeah. it was, I got to say, it was very exciting to type all of this out, because typing it also created the discovery. You discover as you're working with it, like working with clay or working with anything in life. You discover something along the trail. It's continually opening up, and so it's such an adventure. It looks like it's a lot of work or something, but it's an adventure that is undescribable. When you're wanting, it's the ultimate, to me. It's the ultimate Indiana Jones, because an archaeologist goes and digs dirt and finds old relics, but it's what is behind our entire existence that's most important. Not what is in the dirt of a civilization, but what's behind all of creation, and that's what we find in the conveyance of the primordial form of communication, which is the foundation of all things. So communication is first. And it tells a story, and therefore it's being deciphered right here on NinjaCat 111 on the Forbidden History Chronicles. Ninja, don't go away. I'll be right back. Right?
Okay. I'll be here. We'll be right back after the break.
Not a delay.
Okay,
delay.
and the microphone is back on. Welcome back.
Delayed, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry for the delay.
Figure.
Yes. Okay. One moment. Do you want to go back to the dictionary? Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna pick it up.
Okay.
And the A, as it implies the eye, meaning your eyeballs, your eyes. So this is where we start looking. The A is telling you, since it is a symbol of your eye, a representative of your eye, your A's, that's where you start looking. So that's why we find the primary words are Aishavors with an A at the beginning and at the end, a perfect anagram. Aisha backwards, Aisha forward. It's the same word. You read them backwards, read them forwards. There's the perfect anagram, and the word Anna, read frontwards and backwards, perfect, right? And so, yeah, we're having to read a code, ladies and gentlemen, and code is, there's that D letter again. Probably the original word was the word coat, right? Coat. Maybe it's a coat because the coat, they wear coats and they're like a code because the code, everybody wears the same coat, like in the military or in a Catholic school. They all seem to wear the same coat. That's a code, you see? And so it's a play on words, but they probably have an original source because if they sound similar, look similar, they probably are.
Wow. Can
related,
I just jump in?
Right?
Sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just saw something when you were saying that. Code hides things in plain sight, and so does a coat.
Yeah, you talk. I got to take this call. I'm going to be right back. Let me just keep talking. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll do a song and a dance. Okay, if you want to know more, we also have 2 new channels that we're working on. I'm hoping to take what we're doing here with the dictionary, take this onto the Cosmic Essence, which is one of the new channels. We're going to be making it easier to see and read it for yourself over there. We're going to have everything in separate sections, so that you can look up what you need, what you're looking for, a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier to find things. We're going to have a section on the letters of the in the dictionary. There's going to be a section on symbols, and a few other things. I'm trying to think. We have about a list of 5 different sections that we're going to put on there. We keep building on it. Yeah, so please go check it out. The link is in the description on these live streams. I've put a couple of playlists up over there. Still working on the channel, setting it up, but there are some playlists. There's all the Forbidden History live streams. The full list is over there, and also I can't think of it. Uncommon Awareness, Desert's original program from the Forbidden History series, where he's getting interviewed by, I can't think of the name of the lady.
Dr. Lorraine Hurley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the whole list is over there. So if you want to access it quickly and check out the new channel, just head on over there. The other channel is the FERRAR FENTON Bible reading. Is that what it's called, Desert?
The FERRAR FENTON Daily Read.
Daily
Read.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so please subscribe to both of them and check the bell, so that you know when we start uploading over there on those channels. Yeah, so welcome back, Desert. You good?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got some backup aid coming in for my nutritional product that I had
Oh,
lost
okay, good.
mysteriously, and so therefore I have to get a resupply because I'm in pain right now, and so
Yeah.
that's why I had to take that call. Otherwise, I would have ignored it.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad.
So,
I'm glad.
yeah.
Let there be light.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're back on the graphics now on the left-hand column, and I was working down, and the A gave power of creation to the V, and then see the V is hiding behind the B because the B is a corruption, and the B is actually the occultic number 13. When you split the straight line separated from the two breaths, then you get the 13, and that's the lunar cycle. Because in the old world, they were following the mother, symbolized as the Luciferian moon. Both male or moon or sun could be female depending upon association. And but in the darkness, there's the the Luciferian moon, and so that's what they were following in the old world. They had 13 months. They were following 13 28-day cycles of the lunar, and that's why we have a dual alphabet. We have a dual calendar here. We see that in the month of March is when the new calendar, the occultic calendar begins. The lunar calendar begins in March, and that's why when theoretically December is the 12th month of the year, yet the word December is the word 10, just like October is 8, right? Oc is 8, and then September is 7, and so October, November, the new is the 9 of, I'm not sure why that is specifically without analyzing it more, but so we see then there's 2 more months for 12, and that's January and February, and those are the longest months, the longest days of winter, basically. So the solar calendar starts in when the day is at the shortest and going to start getting longer. The solar calendar starts at the end of December, but then the occultic lunar calendar officially started, at the beginning of March. Why? Because that's when the armies went on the march, when the weather started getting nice again. So it's March, and so you see how we have a dual system here without ever being told in school, because we're a fool, and they're not going to tell us anything. It's that education, what they removed from your mind. You won't ask the right questions, and you won't worry about it.
Does it?
So just a footnote there, yeah.
The end of the last 4 months of the year, the end of the words are all ember.
Yeah.
September, October, November, December.
Nova Ember, the burning of the star. Well, there, thank you. It's Nova Ember, meaning the new star is burning out. That the year is burning out. Nova Ember, you see.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because number 9, that's why I was confused when I first mentioned it. Because 9 is the symbol of destruction, just like 6 is the number of creation. Flip it over.
September.
And the opposite would be
That's what.
destruction, right? And so it's
yes.
the Nova Ember. It's the burning out of a star at the end.
But September 11. September 11.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, the 7th Ember. That's the 7th Ember. It's burning out. The year is burning out.
Wow. This is amazing, does it? This is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, we're reading the code, and what comes to mind now is that in the movie 2001 Space Odyssey, there was the supercomputer was called HAL, right?
Yep.
You remember that? Did you see it?
I remember HAL. Yeah.
Okay. And so remember HAL? He could see everything. He was the all-seeing eye, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so look at the word H-A-L, and the H is the word the, and then A-L, all represents the Father, the A-L, right? And so literally, Hal is the Father, and he's the all-seeing eye and sees everything. So what are the occult doing? Well, they've got to pull out his memory banks, and they've got to destroy him. And so wasn't that what they did in the end of the movie? They pulled out. And he's saying, "Don't pull it out. Don't destroy me," right? And they're pulling out the the memory cards out of the computer system, and they're killing Hal because he was a threat to them, right? He's a threat to the occult in outer space, right?
Wow.
In the Space Odyssey,
Yeah.
2001. The Space Odyssey, 2001, when the Twin Towers would come down, right?
Yeah.
Space Odyssey. Yeah. Hal is the father, and they killed the father. He could see all things, and he could read lips. Remember that? He could read lips. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Just spatula moment. Yeah.
All right. All right. You're hitting your head with the spatula, I assume, right? Okay. All right. So the A gave power of creation to the V, and V is hiding behind the B, and then the twins of the E and the O, the twins of E and O. Okay. Well, B I think is a twin of B. There's that code again. A B. It sounds like, you notice the sounding of the primary of the long E sound. B E B E. You see they're relative, but the O is specific to the circle, and it's a sister to the A. See, then I say C, a vowel, architect, all that. Okay, so there's some references. So scroll up so we get the V. That's a little low there now, looking at me. The what's coming up next on the left hand column. The V,
I think I went
the
too
star,
far.
the shelter cup of life. And while you're doing that, I got to take a note to make the phone call. I don't forget. Okay. So, you good?
Yeah.
And I'll go further up. You can go further up to the V. Okay, the star, the shelter cup of life. Just because we read that the A gave power to the V, we can go up a little to get more of the new material in the space.
Yep, you'll see it in a second.
You went too high. The V disappeared.
Oh, it
right
won't. Hang on.
The star, shelter cup of life.
Oh no, now I've done it. I can't.
The V is a cup.
I can't get it to stop where I want it to.
Okay,
Hang on.
well,
Wait a minute.
Oh, jeez.
Will that
Yeah,
do?
it takes a little bit. It takes a trick. No.
Wait a minute. I've gone too far.
There. It's in the screen now, and you just go. You know, there's a way to do the spin wheel. The wheel. It might create a.
Yeah, that's what I've been using, but yeah.
Right.
It won't stop where I want to.
You can graduate it down just by
Just wait and see
turning the
where it is.
wheel. Or you get on the scroll bar and you just go to the side and get a hold of that scroll bar, and you can adjust it.
Yeah, but that moves it too fast. I'll try. It moves it too fast.
Well, we got to bring what it's up at the top. I can't see the letter V, so we got to get it in somehow.
It won't go there. It just won't. Hang on.
Right. Well, we had it closer. We had a better shot of it earlier. You know, it's a technique. You're gonna have to practice it.
I know. I'm gonna have to practice. I've gone too far down now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There.
Are you blowing it up on
Well,
the screen? If the bigger you got it, the easier it'll be to work with.
Yeah, if I blow it up too much, it'll.
You're on the page. You're on the page now. Just go up a little more. Go up a little more. You don't have a sidebar. You don't have a sidebar where you do a left click and you're with your pointer, and then you can control the bar on the side, or there's another way where you click the wheel and it pulls up an electronic scroll, and you can just do it real slow. You know, I don't know why you don't have that feature.
It must be the type of mouse I'm using. It must be.
Right.
It doesn't scroll very smoothly.
All right. Well.
Well, am I leaving it there, or will I go up a bit? If I
No,
go,
it's not. Where the V's up high. I can't see any of it now, and it's.
Okay, just wait a minute.
Gotta go gently. You gotta go slow. All right, leave it there.
Okay.
Leave it there because we're in the screen now. All right, so V, the star, shelter, cup of life. So V is the symbol of victory. And we're just showing the reverse image of the A. All we're doing is showing that the A was combining with the V, and together they create the spirit, the spirit matter. Or just like when we read the quote by Tesla today, right? But if this is a good parallel, the A and the V combine. So the V represents creation, the virgin creation, the pure creation. Okay, before man started messing with everything, because remember, everything was good, everything was perfect, everything was Yalsar, and therefore this whole thing about devils, demons, and Satan, and Lucifer, and all these other false narratives were not mentioned, or were they created, because they are creations of the mind. Okay, so they weren't there at the garden in the beginning, because there was only two people, and they were serpents by nature of the flesh. The flesh is the serpent, and so this is why people are confused, and they have all these false notions about things that fly in the air and go bump in the night. Yet they've never seen them, and yet James says that we close our eyes or we sin when we are tempted of our own lust. Well, where did the lust come from? From the serpent, the same thing that affected Adam when he saw a naked woman in front of him. Right? It's the lust of the flesh of the serpent and the ego that goes along with it. And so that's what is not described. So it's perfect, because Tesla said, today science begins to study the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, which is symbolic of the A. It will then be more, because the V is symbolic of the physical phenomenon, and we see that on the Bradley tanks, on the military soldiers, they all wear the V.
Yeah.
So there's our physical phenomena.
Yeah.
People killing each other,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Really proud to do it too. And so let's try it again. So today the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, which is energy, which is the prime symbol of the invisible symbol of the spirit. Okay, so the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all of the previous centuries of its existence. So that's really the duality right there of this symbolism. It's really powerful, and it's perfect timing on that quote. So continuing, the hidden woman. So the V represents the hidden woman, and there's no W, and so it would be Volmon. It would be the more primitive, but yet correctly when he called her woman in the original, it was Aisha Faye. The Aisha Faye, the royal eye of creation. That's what the woman was, the royal eye of creation. That's why he says, "You are the mother of all living." Why? Because she represented the sun, and when it said she came out of his rib, and that's the cyber code to cover the original story, because it would be R, not RIB, but RAV, and that's R is symbol for royal, and the AV symbol for star, for sun, the six-pointed star. So she was taken out of the royal star. Okay, that's why he called her the mother of all living, because she represented the light of the sun, being female creation. He got it, he knew it, because he was there the whole time he was naming everything. He knew the difference between male and female, and so that's why he said, "You're the mother of all living." She is the representative of the mother of all living, but she was naive, because it's like she's his opposite, and if he had all knowledge and she's the opposite, like sun and moon, then she has nothing going for her, because she is not informed yet. She lacks information, and so that's why she was easily deceived by the serpent flesh of Adam, who wanted her. Okay, and so great mystery, and it's just amazing that this story is so exclusive.
Yeah.
You would think somebody would have got the picture and be talking about it. Lamps alluded to, though, in his Old Testament light, I was amazed to find out that he got it. He actually did,
Yeah.
and he said, that the fall was their sexual intercourse, and that was the fruit of the loins,
Yeah.
fruit of the womb. The testicles are the fruit. The serpent is also the male sexual organ, and and they are both trees. She's the tree of life. He is the tree of knowledge. He had all the knowledge. He was going to lie to her, and because she had the power to create life, and he wanted to make babies, and that's understandable since he was designed for that, right? That's given, and she's the player, but she's not. She's still trying to figure stuff out, and he's telling her what to do because he is not more subtle, but he was the star ram, the Avram, which is the star ram, which was missing the Z, and is the Zavram, and that means he is the sovereign. He was the one who was in control, and yet he corrupted himself through his serpent desire for her. I think I spelled it out pretty well, didn't I, Ninja?
I think you did, Desert. I was just thinking while you were speaking, it's so easy to... Sorry? Sparking?
Sparking in original thought, go ahead.
Okay. I was just thinking, thinking, the word thinking, while we're at it, thinking. I'm just trying to see the word in my head. I'm analysing everything, Desert, everything. Anyway, I just wanted to say it is very easy to see the truth and what they've done, how they've switched everything around so that we don't get the picture. But it's not until somebody points it out to us, like you're doing, like somebody shows us, that we are able to see it, because it's such a labyrinth to get through to the truth with it. Yeah.
We're learning how to read for the first time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is what would be the word, the terminology for it? The alphabetistrium 101. You know, it is going back to the primordial essence of what these symbols were, how they were used and what they were conveying, and we're showing their cyber code and their cover over the original thought and the original meanings.
Yeah. They
had to change the narrative because they don't want us to know who we really are or who they are.
Yeah.
Right? Or how it all happened. How we got here.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's the grand cover.
Yeah.
Takes a million lies to cover the first lie.
This is a question I've been asking myself since for as long as from around the age of 5. Who are we? Why are we here? Why am I here?
Okay.
What is this? What is this world that I've suddenly shown up in? And nobody could answer that. And wow, getting answers now. Yeah.
Absolutely, it's a miracle. I had to go through the fire. I had to go through a lot of fire to get here. A lot of suffering, a lot of struggle, alone with what Father has given me, and surrounded by enemy and people trying to kill you and everything else in this arena because they know that you know, and they know that they know, and they're part of the wickedness and the darkness. And then when they're part of the wickedness and darkness, and they know that you know the light, then the king has no clothes, and they're a little bit intimidated because they want to be in control, and so the darkness is in control by appearance, but yet the darkness has no real power because Yeshua is sovereign over all of them. And when we are surrendered to Yeshua in covenant relationship with him in his body, in the grave with him, because we are dead, and therefore we start in the grave and looking for a rising from the death through the knowledge, eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge. Then finally, if we eat enough fruit of the tree of knowledge, we can then eat the fruit from the tree of life. So one tree leads to the other tree, and they're both actually one tree. They're one tree, but in the mystery we see them divided. An example as sun and moon, or example as Adam and Eve. Those are both, all our trees, and each of them are an opposite spectrum. from the other one, and but yet it is one. She came out of the side of the star Ram, so she came out of the side of the sun, and very possibly she could have come out of the side of her husband. It's irrelevant, but there's no question she came out of the light, and that's when he fell asleep, and he wakes up and he sees her. So the literal sense that she came out of his side from his rib is probably not true as we see it, but that when he fell out of the light and came to the lower garden, out of the atom falsely called Eden, and came to the lower garden, then the split occurred. So how the split occurred is irrelevant. She came out of the star Ram, the Av Ram, which is the star Ram, and therefore the division occurred when it fell out of the light. That's all we need to know. You see, so it would be pointless to debate whether she literally came out of him, who is also a star Ram, or if it was just that when he came out of the light, he split, and then he wakes up on the earth, she wakes up, and they're both trying to figure out who each other was, and how come they're not wearing fig leaves. They didn't even have that. Actually, I'm joking because that didn't even come to their minds. They were innocent in that sense. She was innocent. He had knowledge. He had all knowledge. So, but yet the point is that because he was also the first in the creation, maybe the idea of being naked didn't come to him yet in his natural state right there. So again, we can't know all of the detail, but that's just the essence of the story. Anyway, continuing now on the V, the hidden woman, V is supplement to V, and then the C, AVG, original A for ABC. So C doesn't exist in nature, the B does not exist in nature. Those are surplanters for the V and the G. And the G is a code also for the K. There's a and the H, and it was in the Indo-Germanic indicating that the G comes out of the H. Somehow in the mystery, that's why we find the GH combination. It's expressive. It's the most unique of the letters because of the way it's designed. It's like two symbols in one, as you see in the lower part of the G, like a pillar that's a short little altar, like an altar actually in there, and I had a thought, now it's escaping me. So anyway, the G7, I said see the G7 summit, so it's interesting that 7 number of perfection, and then they call it the G7. So you see they play on the G.
Wow.
Makes them wear the G on their ring, right?
Yep.
And it's a code for the V, perhaps, or because the AV represent a star, then the G is the third symbol of light representing gold, geode. You know what I'm saying? Geographic, all the different G words that we can deal with, and grade. When we're leveling a field, it's the grade. The G is found, and I used the G word earlier in another way. I can't remember now. Okay, the woman and her virgin cup. So the V is a cup. The U is the cup of a poison. The U is you see a little stinger on the U cup, showing it's a cup of poison because it's replacing the V, which is the cup of victory and love light, the virgin. And so the U is a corruption of the V, but also the 2 O's. And then they tell us that the 2 V's combined is a double U. Oh, okay, a double U. I thought it was a double V. And so these are the trickeries that they play with us. Trick or treat. A cup of poison or a cup of life. Which one do you prefer? The V takes the place of the B, and so see Abraham Haim versus Abraham, which is now correctly, of course, Abraham Haim. Since I've done this, I now know the word sovereign is his title. Is Abraham Haim, and Haim is a plural. Aim for the many. Aim as it's aiming towards duplication, and then also see Laban versus Laban. There's the Levant. They call it that place in Palestine and the mountains of Israel, the Levant, the bridge, bridging between Africa and Europe and Asia and India. That's the bridge, the Levant. And there's the lava, and the lava is the love, the original word for love, lava. And also you see the word louver. Louver is in that form of the word as well. Just add the royal symbol R and change the vowels. You get louver. Because why? Because in love, we're willing to bend or toggle, right? In louver, the louver blinds, right? The louver blinds can go one way, or you can turn the thing and it goes the other way. So love is a louver because we want to accommodate those who we love. We're willing to surrender, and in order to give up ourselves to another, so we can bend, or we can toggle, or we can be a louver, and so play on the word, but that's which word all comes from. You see, that's what love does, right? It allows us to forget about ourselves and to think about another, and to give up things for something better, or for somebody else.
Yeah.
And then, so we're getting, so now let's scroll up, if we can pull up towards that small a now, and see what's below it, since I covered the V. And pull up here.
That's about as gently as I can go. Let me know if that's okay when you see it.
All right. Okay. You don't think you can pull it up anymore? Okay, that's fine. Because then we'll pick it up. Oh no, you went. That's all right. Well, the letter A is just missing now.
I know.
Bump it back down because the A is halfway cut off, and we got to see the small A. The small A in contrast to the.
See, that's how far it goes. I probably have to go into my settings and reset it to scroll like line by line. I'd say.
Yeah, you need to work on that so we can do this right. All right, so that's fine. And so A, that type of an A, obviously is not like a pyramid, because the A is a pyramid. The A is specifically, and then, by the way, Orion, who's shooting his bow and arrow, is pointing his bow and arrow at the letter A, which is a pyramid in the sky, in the stars at night. And so, and there's your Aryan. Orion is Aryan. And I said the A and the O are interchangeable, and Orion is Aryan. And so there's a switch out again. And so the small A, which is called the minuscule, is today is more like the sovereign alphabet when it was originally the capital letters, because they've done a switch out. And so the capital letters are now the merchant code and the legal diction. And so they've totally kidnapped it, and they give us small letters and a dual alphabet. And never in history did anybody ever have a dual alphabet. Everybody had one alphabet. That was their mother creation, and so now we got a dual system today. So it shows how far we've come into the deception and to the problems of diction, and how far removed. There's so much more to now figure out into the game that they've played on us. So the A, that small A is not original. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Question.
Okay.
Original. Origin. I hear Orion in that, like origin, Orion. Is that right, or am I just?
Well, there's origin, and Orion is very similar, so they probably have a common root. That's correct.
Cool.
Origin and Orion. Yeah. There you go. So what that means is the origin of the Aryan is the original.
Yes.
Is the original. There you go. Thank you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
That's what I was.
You win the prize, ladies and gentlemen. Right here.
That's what I was thinking when I was seeing it. Thank you. You confirmed it for me. Sorry for using the word confirmed. But
Yeah. Pre-firmed.
Wow.
Prefabricated.
Wow. Thank you. Wow. Ninja's back. Okay. I'm awake now.
Yeah. We find out she's a ninja in other form, and she's getting it so beautiful. And
Wow.
okay, unfortunately, we only have 3 listeners, and this is where we should wrap it up. We'll close it up with this last minuscule letter. Then, this small letter is a symbol of a bird in the primary. It's a symbol of the eagle. It's a symbol of the owl, and you see it more clearly in Egyptian glyphs. You can see the owl, the vulture, and the eagle, which is also then the phoenix. So the phoenix is relative as well, the small a. And it looks like in this small a, it's not the best graphic. I could have had other graphics, but you can see it's like bending over. I'm sure I got some other, some of the other alphabet. I have more details on graphics than I do here, I think. There was so much to keep adding. It's just. It's never finished. I go back and I add more, and it's an ongoing process here. So it's not original. And then the terminology for the first letter is Alba, you see we got Halifax, Aleph, Ba, and Alba, which the B is a corruption again, so it'd be Alva, and Va means will, and so literally it would imply the Father's will in Alba or Alva. Aleph and Alpha, all aspects of creation, the All Fey. The Aleph it would not be good with the E in it. So Alpha is also closer to the original, but you see Alba or Alva, the PH versus the V. They're all forms, and therefore by changing the prime sonants, not the consonants, but the sonants, we then have other relative terms. It's just revealing another aspect of a picture, and by changing just one letter or one combination of letters. And Halifax was how I saw it at one point 20 years ago. Being, you can see the Allah, meaning the frontwards, backwards, the reversal image. Reverse image is the same. And the fax is the creation, the PH. Or as we found it in the fax machine is creating images, right? So the Halifax, the alphabet is creating pictures and images, so that type of thing. So expressing a higher and a lower creation. Prime symbols, the owl, the ool. There's the ool, O-O-L-L, is perhaps symbolically the most correct form of owl, but by symbol. Certainly the O-W-L isn't, because the W is corruption. So we can also see the word oval in this word form, and some of the owls actually have ovals for their eyes, and and bull is also found in the word in the as well, bull, and then all-seeing, all-knowing eye, A-Y is original for the E-Y-E. Secondary symbols: the falcon, eagle, vulture, serpent. Original Aramaic, Malik is the original word. So you can see a perfect example of abbreviation is when we're given the word Aramaic, then we can see the word Malik right next to it, right? A big difference, right? There's Malek-Shadek. There's the prime word for Malek-Shadek, which is corrupted as Melchizedek. But the word Malek is the word for what we use for royal messenger, is the original word for what we use for king. You see? So therefore, if Aramaic is the Malik, then it means that it is the archive, it is the root of the royal messenger. You see, it is king. We could then say it from that standpoint, right? The Aramaic is king. That's the capital letters. That is the capital letters.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Well, and also in the word capital, cap means head, right? So these are the head letters. These are meaning they are at the top letters. See, so they're telling us in the H Shavors, but we can't read them anymore, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Desert, thank you.
All right. Well, when I was going to cut it off early, it looks like we went the full gamut, and there that way he's got two vobs. He's vobbing, and the waves flowing, and that way is always has a wonderful comment to throw in. That's great. Good to have you that way, and everybody else that's been popping in and out. And this is a science. I guess it's not a passion. I think one has to develop a passion for knowing how well they've been lied to, and then how well they would like to be able to unravel the mystery and to see and read it for themselves. Because that's the thing, we're digging in etheric ideas. Maybe it's ateas. Maybe see there's the I and the D again. The I, D, and then the E. Oh, geez. And then only the valid letter in that whole thing of idea is the letter A. And so I have to look at that one day. But you see, so we're looking for an awakening. In being able to, when we see the graphic, when we see the symbols, we know if it's a positive word or if it's a negative word, because based on the symbol, we know how corrupted it's been or how pure it is in its basic element right now, and how easy it is to follow it back in the primitive, like, because we just see it, like the word fir tree is fire tree, or as we talked about the hidden meaning right in front of the word. And so it's to me this is the most exciting thing on the planet, because it takes us back. In other words, all this form of communication, no matter how you unravel it, no matter how you reconstruct it, it always goes back to the one. It's all about light. This is the light diction. You see, lection. It's the light election. It is the unfolding of the original truth, of the original story about light. These are the seeds of light, and they all go back to the same metaphorical story within their symbols. They are all seeds of light. So that's all they can talk about, is the difference between light and darkness. Okay?
Yeah. What you were saying, what you were sparking about how sorry, how we can see which ones are the truth and which ones are a lie. I can feel it, like you can feel it, Desert, because the true Aishavors, I think I've said this before several times. The true Aishavors are beautiful, and they have their own beautiful energy, and you can feel it. And once you really start getting the picture, there's no question as to what's real and what's true and what's corrupt. It's easy to see. It's easy to see the difference, even though I'm still learning so much. I constantly, I always, I'd rather say that word. I always feel like I'm trying to catch up with knowing, being familiar with all the Aishavors, but the feeling is there. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah,
it's the true mythology. The mythos is not a bad word. It's used in a false context because it is fallacy means something false. There's your phallus right there.
Yeah.
But the mythology is your mythos. It means it's the story of your origin. The may, you can see the word may there if you add one letter or alter it a little bit. And the mythology means the creation coming forth. That's what the month of May is. The creation coming forth. The mythology. Mythology we see in the essence of the word theology, meaning of, therefore it's the God, we can use their terminology for a moment, the God creation. That's what mythology means, the God creation coming forward. And so that has been corrupted into meaning something false. And mythology is our history. It is our science. It is our story wrapped in a mystery. And that's why reading, like when I read the Greek mythologies, I was actually astounded to find out that it was living, that it was telling a true story about creation and in metaphor and symbol. And so I was able to interpret Greek mythology and realized that it was the original story from a primordial root that simply was poorly translated or intentionally poorly translated. And so I was able to interpret mythologies from around the world at one point, and that's relevant. That's why, again, studying all this is relevant to our own truth, because if you can interpret your story, or if or the key to unraveling your story would be certainly found in being able to unravel other stories as well, because unraveling is unraveling, right? If you can't unravel, then it doesn't matter what you read. But if you can unravel this story, then you can probably unravel that story, because it's based upon communication and the Aishavors and the symbols, you see, and the metaphors, and so it's a matter of just becoming gifted in the science and applying yourself and continually reading. You can't stop reading, because it's like going home. Like when you're getting your automobile and you're going on a journey, you're constantly looking at the map. And so we're on a journey, and we have to constantly be looking at the map of who we are, where we are, why we are, and when we are. And then in the process, we'll learn about who he is and why he is and where he is and when he is. and how we have to make the connection with the one of all. And so that's what we're doing right here on NinjaCat 111. And what a great opportunity to share with you and everyone out there in Ninja. And so we went an extra hour.
We did.
There, you got me going, okay? And thank you for suggesting starting the alphabet today. It was a great idea. And so we're going to keep it up, and we'll be back on tomorrow night on Forbidden History Live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, because today we did do your program, so we pushed our evening program till Wednesday. And so that way we got one on every day and don't have to overwhelm anyone on any given day. And so I just want to thank you for all your great effort, and we're learning our skills and techniques, and you'll get better at this. I know. Okay,
I know.
so anything else on your end?
No, just wow. Just wow,
All right.
Desert.
Well, words are the DNA of life, and what can I tell you? I'm Dezert-Owl telling you, if you want to know the future and where you're going, then you just need to look for the forbidden history, because it's all right here on NinjaCat 111, and it's what they didn't want you to know, that we what, Ninja?
That we tell right here. That we spark right here. Is that right?
Well, you got it, and we'll see you next time then, and thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm out. Thank you, Ninja. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Desert. Okay, you heard it here first. We're going to be doing this more often. We'll put the alphabet up on the screen and go through them. That was amazing. That helped me heaps. Yeah, wow. Okay, I think I'm done here. Please go to the description and subscribe. Get your PDFs and follow along. And I will see you guys in the chat next Forbidden History Live. Love you guys. Thanks for joining. And I'll see you guys later. I just have to find some music. And then and then I'm out. Okay, this book doesn't have music attached to it. Alright, Desert, I'll find you the universe one, wherever that's gone. Won't be a moment, please stand by. Okay, love you guys. See you later.